Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest
Down to the queens.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum, and welcome back to Stardom Quest, the best weekly Stardom podcast anywhere in the world. We also cover Marigold. I almost forgot. I'm still adjusting the intro. I am, as always, Alex, and I'm joined by Dylan. Hi, Dylan.
Hi, Alex. Hi, everybody. This is a very funny episode because Alex woke me up with a text saying, "Hey, we can't record when we usually record. What do you want to do?" And I, knowing I have a busy schedule this week, was like, "I guess I'm not recording this week." So Alex went and got a ringer. Uh, good friend of the show, Xavi. We'll introduce you in a second. We'll let you talk in a second. Got in a ringer, Xavi. But then I was like, "Wait a minute. Me and Xavi, like the reason I can't record today is because me and Xavi are recording later today." So I can record just as much as Xavi can. And so we just decided that me and Xavi are both going to record, and neither of us have seen Stardom yet. So Xavi's not going to, but I haven't seen Stardom yet. So chaos. Xavi, how you doing?
Dylan chimed in. I'll let Xavier speak in a second, but Dylan chimed in like 40 minutes later, going, "I, your co-host, can actually do this," and I was ready to kill him. I was like, "Why didn't you say that first?" But
Well,
yeah, Xavier,
because
welcome to the show, Xavier. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm glad to be here. I just want to note. That none of that's how this happened. Okay.
we all perceive it completely differently.
We all ended up to okay. So basically, the events happen as presented. I, being a good friend, was like, "Hey, I can record. I just am not gonna watch Stardom. I still have to watch the second show for Marigold, but I can speed through that real quick because the shows aren't very long." Uh, And I was just like, I'm just not gonna. I can talk about Stardom, but I will not watch it just because Taro Okada's a shitty booker. Alex was like, all right, that's cool. And then Scott chimed in, who has watched everything, who told us he was working. He told me and Dylan specifically he was working. That's why we have scheduled No Limit later than we probably should have. And he was just like, oh yeah, no, I'm off. I can. And then it went into chaos essentially, and Alex left the decision up to Scott because he didn't want to put any pressure on me and Dylan, and then Scott just died. So me and Dylan are here.
Which is very funny because Scott sent me a tweet while he was not responding to the group chat.
He sent us a tweet 10 minutes ago.
I was like, what the fuck is going on right now? Oh, this is about all of it inside, like people who don't know like the four of us as friends. This is like nothing to them, but it's just the funniest.
It's okay.
The funniest turn of events imaginable.
If anybody like seen us talk, they would not know that we
would
all
think we
like
hate each
each
other.
other. It's just not possible.
Yeah, that's
But this is what my first time on Stardom Quest since the draft, and I was like, what, 2-3 years ago?
Long
3
time
years ago
ago,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't like Stardom, so
Well-
it never seemed good to bring you on because you'd have just been like, Utami fucking sucks, I hate her, and everybody would have been very upset.
Yeah. I
And
was
now
not a
you
fan
think
of that run.
Utami's cool.
Yeah,
You're
she just
into
does
it.
sick shit, and that's awesome. I mean, I was supposed to come on for a fucking New Blood show because Alex thought I watched it for some
Oh yeah,
reason.
that was crazy.
I was sitting in
Okay.
I was this is when I was in college. I was sitting in a class and Alex texted me, he's like, yo, I need you to help me tomorrow. I was like, all right, yeah, I should be good. I was like, what you need help with? He was like, yeah, did you watch the New Blood show? I was like, why the fuck would I watch the New Blood show, Alex?
The New Blood show is very up your alley. Come on, you like them
Yeah,
Joshi
New Blood
indies.
was way more
Yeah,
Xavier filled.
yeah. But at that time, I was like checked almost completely out. So like,
That's fair. Okay.
But
So
now
finally got
it's
the brother
different, kind of.
Okay. Let's hope so. Well, this show is brought to you by the 5-Star Network. Head on over to the 5-Star Network YouTube channel. You can see this show and all the other shows and any interviews we do. I do try to respond to comments on the Stardom Quest video. Sometimes I'm a day late because I forget that people watch this thing. But I do generally try and talk to people there. There's like 2 very committed listeners who I am fans of who are always there, and I'm like, you guys rock. Or if you're not guys, that's cool too. You people rock.
You
Um,
peeps. Shouts out Christian.
but yeah, you can head on over there. There is going to be a show. The VOD will be up by then for the No Limit draft, so you can feel
Yes.
the draft.
Yeah. So we're doing it live, obviously, because
You won't
this
be able
comes
to.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, this Stardom Quest comes out 24 hours after we record it, basically. So No
24.
Limits happened.
It's like
It's like
early the next
18.
day. Come
Do
on.
you really want me to differentiate between 18 hours and 24 hours? It doesn't really
Yes,
matter.
24 makes me
Um,
seem a lot lazier than I am.
well, the No Limit Wrestling show, live one anniversary or first anniversary show,
Yep.
happened yesterday. We did a Joshi draft, an all time Joshi draft. So you'll be maybe a little bit interested in this if you're
We can go
watching
ahead
this.
and just spill the beans since it will have happened.
Oh yeah,
All time Joshi draft, specifically Joshi wrestlers who have never won world titles in big
yeah,
companies. There's a bunch of
Ooh,
Japan.
caveats that we won't
okay.
get into. And the loser will have to watch the Dreams Come True tournament from Stardom with the final of Tam Nakano versus Britt Baker and give a full review
Full
next time we
in-depth
record.
review on Britt Baker's run in that tournament
Yeah.
That's
because neither of us
sadistic.
want to fucking do that. Yeah.
Wow. Poor Dylan, man. He's gonna have to
What the
review
fuck?
that.
I'm not gonna lose.
Yes, you are. Yes, you
Yeah.
are.
Go
I
to
don't
the
know. More
tweet.
people like
The
Dylan than
tweet
me.
should still be up if you're listening to this like right
No,
now. Go
vote
to the
for
tweet.
Xavier. Vote for
Okay.
me.
Vote for me.
All right. Well, onto the world of Stardom.
Yep.
And I don't know how to format the show anymore with the 2 promotions. Like it's difficult because like there's
Mhm.
news for both, but I also feel like
We should do all
Marigold.
news and then Stardom review and then
Yeah.
Marigold review
Yes.
and then
The thing
previews.
with Marigold is it folds everything together so well that I feel
Mhm.
like we almost cover the news anyway because they set shit up. They
Yes.
actually set
Yeah.
it up. Whereas
Yeah, we don't
Stardom
really
is like, here's a website post, So
I'm
I don't know
surprised
how
outside
y'all
to do
don't
it.
of
do like, Stardom and their news first, and then whenever you go to Marigold, you do their news alongside with that. I mean, like
We
you
did
said,
that last week, but
helps a lot that Marigold just, actually knows how to set stuff up.
yeah. So I guess we'll just
we
do
could do that.
Stardom news. That's fine.
Yeah, let's dive into
All right.
Stardom.
So the Stardom stuff is that Momo Kogo was announced for the Ladies Ring X CMLL return thingy. This is Lucha Fiesta number 2.
Mhm.
She is taking on Amapola from CMLL. I actually haven't seen Amapola, and I watch CMLL women's matches, so I'm gonna assume she is relegated to the Tuesday shows and stuff.
Mhm. She's
So
like
that's
never on
cool.
any of the big Arena Mexico shows or anything like
No,
that.
poor
So,
thing. The other match is Unagi Sayaka, I think a Dark Silhouette, I want to say.
mhm.
She's the CML champion. So it's a
The Japan
2 match
champ.
card, apparently. It is apparently a 2 match card in Shinkiba first. So I don't know how that's going to work,
Mhm.
but that's cool for Momo Kogo. She really enjoys Mexico and Mexican wrestling, I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah, she had like a CMLL flag, or maybe it was a Mexican flag. I
It
don't
was a
know.
Mexico flag.
That makes more sense. Uh, yeah, she's a big fan of lucha, so And I
yeah,
mean that's also her best stuff is usually when she dives into like more of the lucha stuff. So that could be
yeah,
a little fun.
that's fair. The other news is also for a different show. It's All Together is happening on June 15th in Sapporo. This is meant to be a makeup show for the companies who couldn't be involved in the first one, but none of them are
Yeah.
actually involved apart from Big Japan. But the rest of them
Who was in
are
the first
not.
one?
Something
Oh, really?
funny. Something
Yeah, Daisuke
funny.
was there.
About this altogether show. So Dragon Gate decided that they were going to schedule their annual trip to Okinawa, where everybody just goes and has like a vacation, and then does like 2 shows during this show. Like they were aware this show was going to happen, but they decided to schedule the trip
They're like,
during
nah, that's our
the show.
vacation, buddy.
They're like, yeah,
We're
nah,
taking that
bro.
weekend
Babies.
off.
I can't lie. The only Joshi match on the show is Azumi versus Starlight Kid, which is kind of just your standard Stardom exhibition at this point.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
know how many more times we'll get to see that in the singles.
Yeah. Because of
Man.
a AEW. And speaking of AEW,
Mina
Mercedes
Shirakawa. No,
Moné,
I'm just kidding.
I am. This is a spoiler, obviously, but this was 2 days ago. Mercedes Moné beat Willow Nightingale to win the TBS Championship, and then challenged somebody from Stardom or Japan for Forbidden Door. So I guess there might be a TBS title match on Forbidden Door where Stardom takes on Mercedes. Mina is expected to wrestle Tony Storm on that show, so there's probably going to be a big Stardom presence on that in some
Yeah,
form.
I think Rocky said that Stardom is definitely going to have a heavy presence in the
Yeah,
women's matches there. I think Tony Khan also said that. So that'll be a thing that happens.
something.
I thought it was gonna be Steph. I thought Stephanie Vaquero was gonna do Forbidden Door.
Yeah,
Especially since like the not to get too inside baseball, but the people that like she doesn't like from AEW can't work on that show.
Yeah.
So like that feels like the opportune place to book her, since Tony Khan has said that he really wants to book her. But I never expected Homeboy to be consistent. Yeah, Mercedes versus anybody good sounds good.
yeah,
Her against Stephanie sounds good. Her against Tam could be good. We
Yeah.
talked about that a couple weeks ago. That could be what they're going for. That sounds like it'd be a pretty fun match. Um, there's a lot of opportunities there. I think Mercedes is um a beacon for AEW's women's division.
There's a
Not
lot of things to take in
talking about
consideration
Mariah.
with that.
Go on.
Like, well, I mean, Mercedes is Mercedes, so like, if she says she wants to do something, they'll probably just do it. But like,
Yeah.
I imagine the Stardom talent they do want on the show are like people that AEW are interested in bringing in, doing a few shots like sometime in the future. So, you know, of course, like we don't also know who all has visas. I mean, unless we're just taking, like the people who work the US show and all that. So,
Yeah. I feel like, funnily enough, the two people that AEW has very clearly displayed interest in are two people that um, Mercedes personally really likes, which is Mina and Azumi. So as much as I love Mercedes as a wrestler and whatnot, please don't take them. You could take Mina, I don't care. Please don't take Azumi.
all right. Hold on here. Chill out. Chill out. Yeah. Sadly, Mina is already in the feud with Tony, which is like looking bad when you could have done
mm,
Mina versus Monet instead. But you know what? You got to get to Mariah turning on Tony somehow. So I get it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
it's about as subtle as punching somebody in the face while they're looking at you. But yeah,
didn't did somebody? I might have said that on Twitter.
you could have.
Because there was
I believe
an
it.
AEW engagement farmer who was like, "I love these subtle hints for Mariah turning," and it was
Bro,
Mariah like
Mariah
staring
May
at the belt. I
yeah,
was
Mariah
like,
May
"That is not
tried to
subtle."
cost Tony Storm the belt literally last night.
Yeah,
Like she tried throwing in the towel the second she was in submission. And everybody was like, wait a minute. What the fuck was that about?
that's crazy stuff. That was all the Stardom news, though. Well, I guess there was another bit. Aya Sakura wrestled in Diana a couple of days ago. I don't have the results. They used to put the results on the Stardom thing, but they don't anymore.
Well,
So
Nanami beat
I'm
her.
gonna. Yeah, Nanami beat Aya Sakura. I did want to mention the show, but it's on Stardom World because they're putting all the outsider matches on Stardom World now. Um, oh yeah, it was the Future Sight thing. This is Diana's like rookie brand shows, I guess.
Mm.
So Nanami beat Aya in the main event in 11 minutes, and afterwards Aya was kind of like, "Hey, we should do this again in Stardom." So maybe they're gonna run it back on the New Blood show because there is one of those next month,
Yeah.
even though you might not be aware of that because Stardom hasn't promoted it at all.
Nanami got her win back. She lost to Saya Kamitani. She's like, give me one of the rooks. I'm beating them.
Nanami gets it. She's in on
Yeah.
it. God's Eye's own Nanami, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
God's
Remember that?
eyes
She's
own.
got a crown too. It's real.
Oh
Yeah.
hell yeah!
Also
All
also
right.
true.
I think that's all the news that from Stardom. I
Mm.
can't think of anything else. So there was two shows this past week. Surprisingly, the one that wasn't live went up the same day. So there was two shows to watch. The Sunday one was live. Dylan and Xavier have not seen any of it. As Dylan said, this was sprung on him to a degree. So he was saving himself for probably later today,
Yeah, I was
to
gonna
watch the
watch it
matches
tonight.
anyway. So I have watched Stardom. I did suffer for my sins and did watch the two Stardom shows. To be honest, there's not a whole lot happening on these shows, so I'm probably gonna breeze through and we'll just kind of focus on the big storyline stuff coming out of it because there's
Well, what's
2
the
or 3.
vibes like for the smaller shows? Because I'm not watching
Um,
that.
the Saturday one was pretty bad. The Sunday one was good. Like you could
Okay.
actually hear the energy on the Sunday show, but the Saturday one
Sunday was
dead.
Oh,
KBS, right?
yeah, it was
Yeah,
KBS, and
yeah,
it had Miu in the main event. And Miu's
yeah.
obviously hometown girl.
Mhm.
Saturday was one of those like abandoned gyms that they run where there's just a rows of empty seats in the back because nobody wants to sit up there. So it was interesting. The opening match of this show, it was on May 24th. Stardom and Kofu. They did 258 fans for this one. Lady C beat Sayaka Carrara in just under 8 minutes with a choke slam. This
Shouts out to
Dylan
you.
Dylan has the biggest smile on his face knowing he missed this match. He's like, I did not want to
No,
watch that.
I wouldn't have minded watching that. There are
Yeah.
worse matches on this
Really,
card.
Lady
that's
C
fair.
does the FBS. She's pretty sick.
Yeah, Lady C's a Jake Lee wannabe, and I think that's real.
Right, I see. Her winning with the choke slam is lit. I kind of like it.
Also, yeah, also her
Yeah,
chokeslam is like one of the best moves in the company.
yeah.
It's crazy that that Lady C is like, fine, but then she hits that chokeslam. I'm just like, that's something to believe in.
Our next match was the God's Eye team of no, it's not God's Eye. It is EXV, the team of Xena, Wakasuyama, and Hanako, beating the Stars trio of Koguma, Saida, and Unan, which is Hanan.
Hanan.
Hanan. Uh, Xena actually pinned Hanan in 10.5 minutes with a thunder roll. So they
Is that
kind
her
of
roll up?
yes, it is. It was a flash pin.
Okay.
I Saya got her Saida. She got her
Got her
jacket stuck
jacket stuck
on the
again.
wire because she is aiming to do that now. I think, and one day it's gonna get lost. Like I have so much. I panic every time that it's she's not gonna be able to retrieve it. It's very upsetting. Um, Wakasuyama does too much butt stuff in these matches. There's a lot of spots in the next show where people are just hitting her on the ass, and it's like, okay, right, I guess.
Uh,
Um,
all right. I thought like
yeah.
her story was like her and Hanako like being serious and trying to get the new blood belts, and she's just over
Well, they
here.
lost that
with-
match,
Yeah, no,
Well,
and
yeah, but Hanako's still talking about it, like in the
yeah,
backstage
but Waka
comments. I did
ain't.
catch them. Okay, so I guess she's like, all right, we'll do the butt thing. That's fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
Xena's too good for this. She should
Yes,
not.
yes,
Yeah,
I am at that point.
yeah.
Yeah, for Xena. Yeah,
Like,
this was not all that great.
oh
It,
man,
you know, it's whatever.
Xena, man, I don't know. This is
She's a beast.
Xena's an interesting case where it's like if DDM was still around and
Oh
Tekla
man,
wasn't,
yeah,
Zeta is like top gaijin, like top 10 all time. If she
for
has like
sure.
a good faction around her that like like kind of caters to her style and
Mhm.
whatnot, but she just is in these trios matches with Hanako and Waka all the time because Mina and Micah are always busy, and they're always bad except for Xena.
Yeah,
Like, and maybe the opponents, but even
it's
so,
just
I
no
think EXV and
cohesion.
Stars don't click at all either. Which it's
It's just
hard
no
to not
cohesion with
click with
the
Do you think
with
they can
Stars.
salvage EXV? Like they can just throw another member in there that's like,
No, not like that. They
Yeah,
could probably
yes,
figure
and
something
I'll
out.
get onto that later. Okay, I'll get onto
Okay,
that. Don't you worry.
I'm
The
concerned.
next match on the show, Siri and Saki Kashima beat Natsupoi and Unimon and the Crazy Star team of Suzu Suzuki and Mei Seira. Saki pinned Unimon in 10 minutes by taking advantage of the confusion and pinning her. So
Is that what
this
it
had all
says?
of this. This yes, I swear to God. So somebody booted Unimon in the face. She laid there for about 15 seconds. Everybody was going crazy, and then Saki just snuck in and pinned her.
Damn, she
And
Booker T'd her?
I was gonna say she
she
got Booker T. That's
it
crazy.
was so funny. She got hit with like the weakest kick from Suzu. I think she completely whiffed it and had to sell it for the finish. And I was like, "You poor thing." But Saki is so funny. Everything she does is incredible. Like she's just miles above everybody else because she keeps selling her leg when it suits her, and then she'll just sneak in and win. And I think that's iconic.
It is very funny that she's in God's Eye.
Yeah.
Like just like contextually, like I get why, like from a
It does
storyline point
work
of view,
though,
but
because Siri will
it's
get in and she's
hilarious.
like, "See, Siri's gonna get you, ha ha," and you're like, "Okay, I get it. It's fun."
I mean, we have often talked about how the best tag teams in pro wrestling are like that GIF of The Simpsons with is it Ralph with the foreign exchange student just jumping around Ralph and just like hanging out, the chubbier guy, you know what I mean?
What?
That's Saki
How did
Kashima.
you mess that up so badly?
That's okay.
Ralph and the
Oh, Ralph's the wrong one. What the fuck is his
That's
name?
Martin and Nelson.
Nelson. Okay,
Oh
yes.
my god, two of the
My
main
bad.
characters.
Okay, well I forget
uh,
Ralph and Nelson. I get the names mixed up. That's my bad.
Not Ralph.
I-
I know he's not Ralph.
Oh
no,
my
you
god.
don't.
I now know. I remember who Ralph is. Okay, my bad, man.
My god. All right.
Um,
Yeah, that was that match. The next match. Where are the results? What's happening? Oh, here we are. Ami Sore, Konami, and Ronnie Agami beat Soriano, Tam Nakano, and Aya Sakura. Ami pinned Aya in 15 minutes for the Blue Thunder Bomb. Aya was trying a lot of stuff here, and I really appreciate that. She tried this corner running kick thing that would have been great if she executed it. And I'm just like, when she puts it together, Aya is gonna be such a beast because she's already trying lots of shit, and it's really good. Her and Rana did a brief where they kicked the shit out of each other exchange, and it was cool. Um, and yeah, everybody else existed, but the rookies are the only thing to care about because they're dogs. They are the dogs.
Because they have to. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you know
no,
what I
that's
mean?
fair. That's fair.
Like
They
they
just
have to
kick
be like
ass.
this is we gotta make the
Yeah,
most of our minutes here,
for sure.
and I
It was
appreciate
also
that.
kind of long. It was 15 minutes, and I
15,
don't think it needed
15,
to go
yeah.
15. And Aya and Ami was the finishing stretch, which is kind
Mm-hmm.
of like one of those that
Why?
definitely wears thin eventually, because Aya is obviously going to lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
Just
also
get it over with.
like of the pairings, that's the worst. Like least interest. Like because like at least Konami and
Yeah.
Aya can kind of like you know kick each other just like Rana did. You know, like you get what I
Yeah.
mean? Where it's like at least Kona like there's like a vibe similarity that would breed into a cool closing stretch. I don't think
Hmm.
Ami and Aya is what I want from closing stretch here.
That's fair. Xavier, have you seen much of Rana and Aya? What are you thinking?
I've seen more of Aya than I have Rana because, like, when I was watching Stardom shows, Rana was just losing a bunch and not doing much, as where Aya actually got time to shine. I like both of them. I think they're great.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. The Xavier seal of approval is actually pretty important for
No,
Stardom wrestlers. He does not like a lot of them. um,
that's half true.
yeah, that's fair. I get it. I
I do
guess.
think I do
If
think
you
Rana
debuted
is
it
very
after a certain point, then yeah, I'm kind of eyeing you. So, like,
The Milano trainees are not your vibe.
Kevin's gotten better.
funnily enough.
I will give Kevin that.
Kevin is a real wrestler now. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can
Kevin's really good.
gotta respect Kevin. Our next match on this show was Natsuko Tora, Momo Watanabe, and Thekla beating Saya Kamitani, Azumi, and Miyu Amasaki in just over 14 minutes. Momo Watanabe pinned Saya with the Peach Sunrise to get the win. I actually thought this was good. You know, I mean, these factions are kind of have gelled together by now because they wrestle so often, and I enjoyed it. Kevin was paired off with Tora, which I think was a really good use of the two of
Mm.
them. Obviously, Tora is just a beast, and Kevin is the underdog. Momo and Saya was really fun, and I think Azumi and Tekla did some interesting high speed stuff at the start. I think Tekla really clicked for me this weekend. I thought she was pretty good. She's like a shithead, but she's also really aggressive when she needs to, and it just kind of works. So long as she keeps up with the aggression, I think that's the thing with Oedo Tai. When they feel mean and nasty, it works. When they're
Mhm.
just being thumbing their nose at you and laughing, it's less enjoyable. But they were very much like, we're gonna kill everyone on this weekend's shows.
Which is very funny because like what significance does this weekend have?
Yeah, well, I mean, it
They
started
are
this.
starting an
This
angle.
it did
Yeah.
start the story. Yeah. Um. So the main thing is that Saya went to speak to Momo and was reaching out to her to talk, and Natsuko kicked her away. And then the post show comments, Saya was like, wrestling them today without Utami, I realized Queen's Quest needs something. So she's setting up kind of an interesting direction there. And yeah, I've just realized they don't do a written report anymore for the matches. They just
Yeah.
post the videos, so that's interesting. Our main event then was Maika, Mina Shirakawa, and Starlight
Oh
Kid.
no, it's just for this show. They have
All
written
right, okay,
reports
that's
for the
grand.
next one.
That's good. Because I was like, why am I scrolling so
Because
far?
I noticed that
And
too.
then
Yeah.
I was like, oh, there's no writing. That explains it. Yeah, the main event was Maika, Mina Shirakawa, and Starlight Kid beating Mai Iwatani, Hazuki, and Momo Kogo. Maika pinned Momo with the Michinoku driver in 15 minutes. Starlight Kid slots in like perfectly with E Nexus V for some reason. I don't know why, but it just works. I think the visual of her, Micah, and Mina coming out and they all have belts is kind of like very powerful.
Yeah,
So if
big
she,
Spark Joshi fan. Ditto.
yeah, damn right, love me some Spark. So if she wanted to join EXV, I legitimately wouldn't be upset. I think it would be a very natural fit vibes wise.
Wait a second. Oh, Alex, you wouldn't know. It looks like Starlight Kid did Takagi's gimmick in one of these
Oh,
pictures.
is it the
It's
corner
Takagi
thing?
time or it's tea
Oh
time.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, where he like points to the camera, but like Starlight Kid is doing that, and Takagi was on the show. So if she did that, that's pretty based. Um, yeah, I mean, she did kill the dance. I will say on the second show, on the
Yeah.
Kyoto show,
Oh
she
damn, that was
fucking
cool.
she
Yeah.
ate that shit up. I'm not gonna lie. But I can't. I'm just starting to like her again. I can't put her in a
Oh my
worse
god.
faction.
Really?
Like,
She would improve it, I think.
I mean, yes,
Her
but
and Hanako, I think, would be
that's
the
asking a
best
lot of
thing for
her.
Hanako almost, outside of Micah as a teammate.
To have like a
Kid,
small,
Kid
yeah,
and
I could see
Hanako.
that. I could see that.
Yeah. Stars are on their bullshit. They're just doing
Yeah,
really well. And
always.
Kid kind of teased a new direction. Starlight Kid has teased about 10 things. I will put that out there. There is no guarantee she follows through on this, but she did seem to be like, I've teamed with a lot of factions. I have to team with God's Eye and another one, I think Queen's
Queen's
Quest.
Quest.
And when I have teamed with everybody, I'm gonna make a decision on what I'm doing. So she might finally be settling down. So
Yeah, I think they forgot that her contract it doesn't expire next month. And that they're like, oh shit, I guess she has
Okada
to like
actually
be here
didn't
for
know
a
that,
while.
bud.
I guess we have to. I guess we have to like use her for.
They
We can't
didn't
just
even
have
know
her
they
sit
could like
around.
set up shows. Of course, they don't know about her contract, man.
Yeah. Well, they know about them contracts, but no, let's not get into all that. Um.
mm, bye.
But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what Kid ends up doing if we are correct in that it feels like she's probably not staying in Stardom long term. The issue with Stardom right now is that I can't really tell like if the
Hmm.
booking is just bad or if the booking is bad because certain wrestlers they have no like long term vision with them. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
like I can't tell if they're just like oh, well, who cares about Starlight Kid? She's leaving. Excuse me. She's leaving in however long. Or if they just don't know how to book, and
Or it
they're
could
just
be
kind of
like
like having her
a
tread.
mix almost to where they want to try. Like, say
Yeah,
hypothetically, she's set on leaving, but they want to see if they can sway her a bit. So they're trying like different things to get her
which is interesting
interested
because
and you
they've
know.
done that with the other young wrestlers that we
Mhm.
presume might want to leave. Um, but not Kid as much. Like I guess Kid, like
It's
she's out of Oedo
weird
Tai. She's
that
doing like she's a babyface again, which I think she probably knows is her lane. She'll definitely make more money as a babyface.
mhm.
Uh, so maybe that's like their appeasing of her. But even so, it feels interesting.
It
I
still
guess.
feels weird because she's still not as important as some of the younger people that have received that, okay, we care and we want to, position you highly for the future.
Mm,
Because I mean, there's obviously a lot of money to be made just off of Mask alone. She was making money off Mask when she was in Oedo Tai, but as a babyface, lots and lots of money to be made there. But even then, if you look at, Hanan got the Cindy, Azumi, like, Taro Okada came out, was like, yeah, I like hand chose her to go to AEW and represent this. And even then she was on the showcase on Ring of Honor and all that stuff. Kid just kind of seems like she's there. Yeah, she's got this story, but it kind of just seems like, all right, yeah, we got to find something for Kid as well.
yeah, they don't have
Kid
a
thing,
Nozaki. I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
that's true. The kid thing was weird because when it happened, I said they have to take their time and like feel the ramifications of this. Like the baby faces have to be upset with her. They can't just accept her back. And within 2
They did
shows,
the opposite.
Mayu and Tam had taken her back. And I feel
The only
like
person who is not is Hazuki, who will probably end up
and Hazuki has
turning
barely been
because this company's
involved.
dumb.
Yeah, and it's like if Hazuki, if Starlight Kid picks Stars, for example, and Hazuki goes, right, well, I'm out, then that's fine. But it took you about 6 weeks to get there, where Kid was just doing nothing instead of
Yep.
playing with the actual dynamic there at hand.
I at least think the Mayu thing is fine, just because I mean, I feel like it's like pretty common knowledge. There's like a less than zero chance this woman is staying. So like her wanting to leave Stars to Kid makes a lot of sense, regardless of what the past has happened. Not everything has to make sense. Like I at least believe that makes sense where she's like, okay, if you want to come back, your spot is
Yeah.
here. The rest is just kind of like, she just kind of like
Once
terrorized
again,
y'all forever,
yeah.
and y'all are just like cool with it.
Not to, I don't want to sound too negative, but once again, it feels like Stars is the only like coherent group in this company. Uh because
Yes, it
like
is.
oh they have a wrestler who isn't very fond of this idea. They have Hanan who grew up with Kid and always wanted her back, right? Like Hanan's whole thing has always been like I want my sister back and I want Kid back because they were my friends and that's my sister and like so like that makes sense. Hanan's like yeah of course like she views her very positively. But then Hazuki is like the holdout, the major holdout. Um and Ida's not too big of a fan of it either. She just doesn't really, she's just on Hazuki's side, it seems. Um, and I think that's very funny that like I'm looking at this picture right now. Obviously, no visual aids; it's a podcast. But I'm looking at this picture of Mina and Micah just cheesing as they like stand with Kid. I'm just like, why are you so happy? Like, you know what I mean? Like Homegirl was like fucking y'all up for a while. Like she was cheating. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's It's interesting. Like Xavier said, everything doesn't always have to make sense all the time, but it is interesting that Stars is the only group that's like giving it layers. I guess Natsupoi did a little, but even I don't know. It's
Yeah.
it's a strange.
I
It's
I,
not very
get, I thought
consistent.
Queen's Quest would play with it a bit more as well because they were
Yeah,
direct rivals to Oedo Tai. I feel like Azumi should have been very much
Yeah,
in the camp of I don't trust you, I hate you, like don't team with us at all. You were the enemy. Um, but I feel they haven't really factored in yet, I guess. So maybe they'll do that. But yeah, it just feels like wasted opportunity with Kid because there was a very interesting story you could have told there with her returning to the good side, and they just haven't really done it. And maybe they will. They just move at a very slow pace sometimes, and that's kind of how Stardom has been for a little bit. But we'll have to wait and see. There was another show, and again, we can just blast through this because we'll sum up the story stuff at the end. This is on the 26th of May. Stardom
there's a
Kyoto
picture.
2024.
There's a
This
picture of Mina and Kid doing a heart in front of the
yes.
stained glass with their like. What the fuck are we doing? Like, you
Um,
know what I mean?
this show had 391 fans. So Marigold in the dirt, get wrecked, son. In the
Hmm.
opener, Konami beat Hanako in just over 9 minutes with a sleeper hold.
Now that is a match I
it's
don't want to
real.
see.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't great. Konami just kind of beat on her a lot and then eventually submit her. I didn't
It's
really
very
enjoy
yeah.
very much of this.
Like,
Um,
just put why haven't we gotten like Konami versus Rana yet? Like, why is Konami always in like the like a tag team match and it's just like not doing anything, or she's in a
I don't
singles
know.
match that is not good?
You
Like
you
again,
you make
somebody
a
that
point.
there's no way that she'll ever like that was never going to be a good match.
Yeah.
Even on Hanako's best day, Konami like that's just not Konami's bag. Is a rookie
No,
that's
it's a
big like
weird
that?
mix. And then
Yeah,
it goes 9 minutes of
yeah,
Konami simply beating the shit out of her, and you're like, all right, we gotta wrap this up.
yeah.
So
So
yeah, wasn't I didn't have fun. That's all. The next match was Thekla beating Aya Sakura in just under 7 minutes with a poisonous death drop. I did enjoy this. Thekla and her push of sorts is one of the only things that I feel has been given real focus since Buntai.
just
Like
insane.
they have they've given her win after win. She gets promo time. She won the gauntlet to be the artist challengers. And she beat Ayasaka around here. It was merciless. Like, she had her pinned and said, "Nah, I'm gonna keep going." It was just a beatdown. Like, if I even got 5 moves in, I would be surprised that she got 1 hope spot and was nullified right away. Like, this was the kind of one-sided match that really benefits the heel. She just beat the hell out of Aya. Um, and then after the match, she kept beating her up and like whipped her with a belt and tried to choke her until Tam stopped her. So I think that's our next step. Maybe decided is Tekla and Tam once the artist match is over. Um, and yeah, I thought Tekla did really well here to just like completely beat up this rookie.
She is the
Stardom
idol killer.
that
That's what they
she
call
is.
her.
That's fair. This is her first time really diving into it, and probably her first time against a proper idol in a one-on-one situation since that turn. And it worked. It really did. I thought she did well. Um, the thing
Hmm.
with Stardom fans, these people are insane. She was whipping this young rookie. She was choking her, like beating her from pillar to post, and she got light jeers. They were like, "Boo,
Yeah.
yeah, boo." I was like, "What is wrong with you? Why
I
are you
mean,
going
to be
to a
fair,
show and not
that's been the thing
reacting at
forever.
all?" It is, but this is
Hanan
next
or not
level.
Hanan. Hana used to like have to boo the crowd so they would boo her. And like
Yeah,
she was the super heel uh like there for a minute, you know what I mean? And I found
yeah.
that very funny. That's like, and again, Hana was like a charisma powerhouse who like you should boo when she's a heel and you
Mhm.
should cheer when she's a babyface. So anybody who's like not as good at either of those things as her are definitely not going to get booed. You know what I mean? Just like
I
historically.
guess I just feel like this time the company wants you to boo. Old
Yeah.
Stardom was very much this is all part of the vibes. But here you're meant to boo and these people just didn't. And it's like how much more does the company need to say please boo this for you to actually react?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe Tekla just ain't over, brother.
Maybe. Who's to say? Um our next match anyway
KBS Hall,
was what?
there to say. I said KBS Hall is to say.
Oh, okay.
The
Our
guys.
next match was the God's Eye team of Suri, Amisori, and Rani Yagami, beating Suzuki, Azumi, and Lady C. Suri got the win for her team in 11 minutes with a buzzsaw kick. They did some Suri Suzu, and it was good. Suzu cheesing while doing the Queen's Quest post was very funny. She
No,
was
wait,
just
she's
having
not
the
even
time of
doing
her
the
life.
Queen's Quest pose. That's legendary. She's doing the easy money pose.
That's crazy. That's great. Um,
That's why Yozumi's like, the fuck you doing?
yeah,
That's not what we do
she
here.
tried to get it and didn't get it, and she tried. They let her off. Yeah, there were some good parts to this, but that was about it. Suzu and Siri carried it, which is fair because they kick ass.
Um, Lady C losing to the buzzsaw kick is very on purpose.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
because Lacey's like, hey, I'm Tajiri's new disciple, even though I know I ain't nowhere near as good as you, but that was disrespectful. That hurt my fifis. So yeah, just a note.
Okay. The next match was Mina Shirakawa and Starlight Kid beating Tam Nakano and Sayaka Kurara and the team of Hanan and Momo Kogo. Kid beat Sayaka Kurara with the Black Tiger Leg Destroyer in 15 minutes. This was where Kid did the dance, and this is where I was
Mm.
fully sold on her and Mina as a team. And Kid and EXV. Um,
Here goes Alex handing over more talent to AEW. Fucking hell.
all right, chill out. Why is Natsupoi in the photo? She wasn't in the match. Is that not Natsupoi? Or maybe it's
No,
Hanan.
I'm not seeing no not spoilers.
Okay, because I just saw like a blonde hair flying, and I was like, "That's Natsupoi," but no. Yeah.
I see what you're talking about. That's not spoilers.
Okay. Well, listen, it was out of the corner of my eye. Are you sure it's that one? Um. Oh yeah, no, that's definitely
This is great
Hanan.
audio.
Okay. It is. It is. I have nothing else to say about a lot of the Stardom stuff. Like as I say, the only stuff to focus on really is the 2 or 3 big storylines. The matches were just kind of there. But our next match was
Yeah.
Mei Seira beating Saki Kashima and Saya Ida May pinned Saki in 6 minutes with
I think
shooting
this is like
star.
the one match I actively wanted
This
to like go
was
out of my way and see.
so fun. This was so
Yeah.
fun. Mei Sarah and Saida were doing the high speed stuff, and every now and then Saki would pretend to do it and would just be like, "Nah, dog, I'm not running." Um, so it was so funny. It was just a mix
That
of
sounds
like
gas.
I just
was
imagine Saki Kashima being like, "When the fuck do you get so fast, girl? What the
yes,
fuck?"
yeah. Honestly, like they just had so much fun, and it was such a mix of the high-paced wrestling that Sarah does so well, with Saki just being, "I am hurt, please leave me alone," but also, "I'm not hurt, haha." It's very good.
Yeah, that sounds like a very good match. That's probably one of the few matches I will check out from this past weekend because a lot of the good
That's fair.
matches looked like they were on that Osaka show that's happening today. Uh,
Oh, yeah,
so like
that's fair.
from the previous shows,
I
Isn't
that
will
that
was
say,
Wingori Crazy Star?
yeah, Wingo Crazy Stars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh,
that's
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 that's real.
nuts. Yeah.
It's crazy that A, that's just happening, and B, how much Suzu Suzuki simply exists in this company, and it angers me. I won't get into a rant about it, but it does anger me.
That's fair,
Yeah, meant
that's
to
fair.
meant to be meant to be world champion like 7 times.
Yeah, no.
Um,
Luckily,
uh,
it's okay. They got the tag titles. It's all right. It's fine.
It's
yeah,
very
it was
funny.
a fun reign.
Very briefly, it's very funny. There's this old like theory. I think Cody Rhodes said it that it's like every single wrestler who pitches like a gimmick is like, and then I win the title. That was Rossi with Suzu. Rossi was booking, and he was just like, and then Suzu wins
Suzu
the
wins the
title.
title.
No, no, you're not hearing me. Then Suzu. What? Why isn't Suzu champion? And then he's just like, I'm done. I'm out. That's
That's
canonically what
pretty
happened.
fun. That's pretty fun. Um, our next match was a three-way trios match, and this is probably the best match of the weekend.
Yeah,
Maika,
this looked good too.
Xena, and Waka Tsukiyama. Although this was the match with all the ass stuff with Waka. Um, Maika, Xena, and Waka beat Saori Ano, Natsupoi, and Yuna Mizumori, and the team of Mayu Iwatani, Hazuki, and Koguma. Xena got the win for her
Whoa.
team with Thunderstruck over Unimon.
No, no,
Um,
no. Over Natsupoi.
Oh yeah, Natsupoi. Yes, sorry. They don't mark the circle all the time, so I just kind of have to guess. Um, so Xena is one of the interesting things. She got 2 wins this weekend over 2 relatively pushed commodities. I wonder. I feel like the EXV Oedo Tai match might be more of a setup for her to like beat Oedo Tai and then challenge Saori Ano, because her and Anna went head to head after this. So I'm
Ano and
thinking
Xena
they're
sounds like a fun
building Xena
match.
up. It does actually. It does. I think Xena
An
deserves it too.
interesting match too. Like not like like one that like I don't know what I expect, but I expect
Yeah.
good things. Vaguely.
No, that's fair. I think it could be really good. I think Xena deserves it. She's
Yeah.
been really good. Stars were great in this match. Stars are obviously. I mean, look, it's Mayu, Hazuki, and Koguma. What did you expect? They were fantastic. Like this was a really fun match. Yeah, Xena winning serves a purpose. Incredible.
Who would have thought that works?
Yeah. Um, Our next match was a tag match. Really? I
Yeah,
could
this
have
is the main
sworn there
event.
was more people in this. Um, it was Saya Kamitani and Miyo Masaki beating Natsuko Tora and Momo Watanabe. Kamitani got the win for her team with a Frankensteiner over Momo. Um, there was a heavy Tora beatdown on Kevin to like get the home crowd behind her, and it worked, to be fair. And then Saya got her win back over Momo, so that works.
Mm.
The big thing is obviously that after the match, Saya Kamitani said, "Hey Momo, that is what is missing." Tora didn't react too happily, but not like Momo backed her down and was like, "Hey, you stay back." And Azumi was pissed. So like they did the show closer, and she just walked off. So they're teasing 2 turns maybe here with Momo going back to Queen's Quest and Azumi leaving because she's annoyed by this. So how are we feeling?
Terrible. How
Um,
how do they find a way to like tease Momo like doing what I've asked her to do since the second she turned? But they do it at the expense of Azumi potentially. And even if not, like they do it in such a haphazardly way that like, you know, like Nina, right? She's a big fan of modern day Oedo Tai. She's like, why the fuck? That would be a terrible idea. Like Momo just like going back, like just just because Saya said so. Like story wise, it's not very strong, so I don't think that's where they're going with it. I don't think Momo actually turns, especially since the artist match hasn't happened yet, and
Mhm.
they are probably winning that. Like
I
it's very possible.
I think this company can do a lot of stupid things, but I think this is just like too stupid and too heavy-handed to where this definitely can't be where they're headed. I mean, I'm not putting it past them, but like it just doesn't seem likely. Um, especially it was crazy. So I was like, yeah, I'm leading Queen's Quest, by the way, guys, and Momo, you should like come on back if you want to do that. Um,
Yeah.
Hopefully, there's, like, better story development from here on. I mean,
Yeah,
this is the initial introduction to, other than you
Yeah.
wanna count the, small interaction between Saya and Momo, on the other show. But this is the first introduction to whatever the story may be, so give it time, but I can't say I'm ecstatic at how they started it. It just seems like there's a lot of kinks to work out, but, they got time.
You
yeah. I
know,
wonder how they execute this ultimately, because like something either is going to happen or nothing is going to happen, but it's going to be like last year. Like because the story last year was that nothing ended up happening. But
mhm,
the way that they got to that point was so, distinct and well done and just, that it was, the best match of the year last year. So I know this is very, dumb analysis, but something is going to either happen or not happen actively. And I wonder how long it takes for them to get to that point. Uh, but I
yeah.
also wonder, like, I don't know. I'm a bit concerned. Something
Um,
bad's gonna happen.
yeah, I don't see Momo going back to Queen's Quest. I feel
Yeah,
like
no,
they've
because
just
that would be good.
well, that and they've just started to get behind her as a heel, and they've just started to get behind this new kind of look of Oedo Tai with her and Tekla kind of being the main ones, and Momo's just or Natsuko is just the marauding leader who is kind
Mhm.
of there. So taking
The
away her
gangrel,
and
if you will.
Kid, yeah, taking away her and Starlight Kid would just be like death to that faction, in a lot of ways. Especially with Rocka hurt because she seemed to be in for a big push and she's kind of
Yeah.
gone now for a little bit. So I don't see Momo leaving, but this could push Azumi out the door, and not to AEW. um,
No,
but
no, no.
this could push Azumi out the door because they might do a Kid Azumi group maybe with
I
Suzu
think
or
that'd be fun. I
I did
think
see someone say that online, yeah.
if there was a time to do it, it would be now.
Yeah, especially if, as Fumi kind of alluded to, Azumi and Cade were the main two who wanted to leave Stardom. And if that is the case, then just put them in a group together. And, you know,
So if they
And
do
kill it
leave,
if
you can just kill it
kill it a
off.
year from now if they have to.
yeah, I could see it happening. I don't know
I
if
like
that's
the idea.
exactly what it is,
Yeah, I don't
but I
hate
I
could
that.
think
I
you
don't
definitely.
can
hate that.
also add people, like you said, with possibly Mei and Suzu. That way, if you
Yeah,
do want to keep it around, say it catches fire, you have people to fall back on. You're good.
As long as
yeah,
they don't call it what is it? Uh
Azumi Kid Army.
yeah, eternal foe army, where it's like, yeah, this is like our thing, our catchphrase together and nobody else has any connection to it at all. Uh that does hmm, it's funny because Stardom got me there for a second. I was saying, "Oh, Queen's Quest is gonna die for like a month," and then I was like, "Oh, maybe they'll rebuild," and now I'm back to like, "Oh, so it's gonna die."
Oh yeah, it's over.
Um,
That's
yeah.
where
I
I'm
mean,
at mentally.
Saya turning would be the most Stardom end result of all this. Is her being like, "Hey, I want to wrestle with Momo." Like, I don't know, man. And if Momo doesn't join
bro,
her, she just joins.
Saya being such a bitch. That sounds mean. Okay, that was a bit
It's
harsh. No,
crazy.
but Saya
That's
being such a
crazy.
okay, my bad. No, I didn't mean it like that. Saya being such a dweeb that she loses Utami. She's like, I need the other one. I need her back. Please come back. Like that is
Nah, she just
to
gets
the
it.
point where she turns heel.
She's building a
That
super
would
team.
be disastrous.
Yeah, Saya is the one who shouldn't go heel. I feel like she would be the least effective
I feel
wrestling
like she
wise.
would be the most NXT coded wrestler like of all time if
Oh
she
dear
turned
God,
heel.
Cora Jade.
Yeah,
She would be Cora Jade.
yeah, because like,
Oh,
oh man,
Just
yeah,
hear
fuck.
you hear Xavier's life force draining away. Um,
Does she
I
get the
do think
skateboard at
it's.
least?
I find it interesting that they have the card announced for tomorrow, but not Friday, Saturday. So
you're
maybe
thinking
they're
too
maybe
far ahead, Alex.
Friday,
You're thinking
Friday,
too far
Friday.
ahead, but
that's fair. But maybe they're gonna do a change on the show that's happening tomorrow. But then again, that's
See,
too fast for
but
Taro.
that
He
no,
doesn't
but
push
that's what
that
I mean.
quickly.
No, because that's the thing about Stardom is that it's like I could see whatever happens, like whatever's happening tomorrow, or I
Yeah,
can see it happening in 4 months.
that's fair.
Like it feels like there's not much in between. That's the problem. Is
that's
that
what
it's
the
like
company thinks so too. But so
Queen's
join the club.
by the time that we drop this episode, Queen's Quest could be dead. But
Well,
it
I doubt
also
they're gonna die in the
well,
middle of
not
nowhere.
literally. But
So
you get my point that it's like it
I
could
Would
do.
be
be like
funny.
completely
Well, it's
it,
actually
it would be
Osaka
kind of
tomorrow, so maybe Osaka number
yeah.
two. Yeah.
Well, what's your favorite Queen's Quest
Things do
memory since they'll be dead tomorrow?
Oh
thanks for
man,
the name.
I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know. That's kind of the main thing coming out of Stardom is the Queen's Quest, Oedo Tai thing. I
Thanks
think
for that
Xena.
kick-ass part of your theme song that's got that
Oh
weird little
yeah,
riff and then
yeah.
Queen's Quest. Bow down to
Bow
it.
down
That
to
was
the
good.
Queens. Yeah, I
That's
like
real.
that one. So that's the main thing coming out of this weekend is Queen's Quest Oedo Tai, which is really funny because we were here a year ago saying Queen's Quest Oedo Tai.
We've
Um,
always been here actually, but
yeah, that's true. Just
It is the
never
most
ending.
legendary feud in Stardom history, like by
yeah.
far.
Yeah, that's fair.
Faction-wise,
Um,
of course.
I do enjoy the Thekla and Xena pushes a little bit. I feel these house
Yeah, we
shows
know.
don't do a lot, but at the very least, those are two wrestlers who are getting pushed and benefiting. Hanan taking pins is not something I'm worried about. That just seems like a Taro quirk of like, hey, you got your big moment. Now get to the back of the line. So she'll probably win the red belt in like a week based on how he works. Um, but
Maybe he
yeah,
just forgot that she won the Cindy. You ever consider that? He
uh,
just straight up forgot.
maybe I don't know.
I think
This
it
is
would
how
be. I
Taro
think
does it.
yeah, I think that's how we defend Taro is just being like, dude forgot.
Straight up.
His bad.
He's trying to watch Pro Wrestling Triple Six. He does not have time to think about booking this company, man.
Taro
Come on.
Cat is watching Triple Six.
Yeah, he's the
He's
only
like,
person
bro,
capable
Ikuta
of finding
Hadaka
it.
just
He get,
joined Rebel and Enemy. He's got to lock in.
bro, imagine if Taro Okada was the only person who gets the tapes.
That's real.
Nobody else gets 666 tapes except for Taro Okada.
That's real.
But yeah, that's the Stardom.
Yeah. Interesting weekend when you comb over all of the matches that didn't have any meaning.
I will say I adore this picture of Azumi, Suzu, and Lady C. I think
Yeah, it's fun.
it's so cool. I love it.
Well, that was Stardom.
Yep.
Um, Now
We'll
we did.
preview the rest, or the
Yeah,
one
there's.
show.
I don't know if we should even preview it
Oh, the
really.
two shows. Fuck.
Yeah, there's a
Wait, there's.
Corkin that has nothing announced. So
Oh yeah, I forgot that we don't preview Stardom anymore.
yeah,
That we're not capable of doing that anymore.
no.
Yeah, we
So
can't.
had Marigold. We had two Marigold shows on the Sunday. They announced the cards for this weekend earlier today. They set some stuff up for Corkin, and we have something to discuss regarding Sumo Hall. Oh wait, did we discuss it last week that WWE is doing a live tour at the same time as Marigold is in Sumo Hall?
Well, it's not the same time. It's like a month. It's like half a month later. But yeah, I don't know if we did last week. I think that came after. I might be
Okay,
wrong,
well,
but
I feel like we might have, but even still, we'll just do it now.
mm,
It is looking increasingly likely that EO will be on the Sumo Hall show for Marigold. Dave said in The Observer that EO and Kyrie might have part to play. WWE is in Japan at the time. Rossi, in an interview, said, me and Triple H had meetings online back in December. All signs point to EO and Kyrie, but at the very least, EO being
Yeah.
on the Marigold Sumo Hall show. So Very
Rossi would
interesting.
which is sick.
Rossi would legitimately sacrifice everybody listening to this right now, including us recording, to get
Yeah.
EO on the show. So, like,
Who
buddy,
was
you
it?
can say whatever you want about WWE and Marigold.
Yeah.
He will do whatever it takes to get EO
True.
booked.
Who was somebody either said to me or said generally like, oh, maybe he doesn't want to book EO. He just wants because
That's
Rossi. I think
crazy.
Rossi in the interview was like, no, I don't want to use. Oh no, it was Fumi. It was Fumi. Fumi said, oh yeah, he doesn't want to use outside wrestlers. He wants to build up his own ones. And I was like, Fumi of all people should know. Rossi would legitimately like kill people to get EO on a show. Like he,
Yeah.
you do
Yeah,
not
no.
understand the obsession that man had with the EO Shirai.
You don't understand the glee he had when she, like, failed her physical, whatever, when she first tried to go to WWE.
Yeah.
Like, it was incredible.
Bro,
I,
literally,
I,
Rossi literally was like, when EO left, he was like, okay, Momo's my new EO. That's my favorite wrestler, and that's why that happened.
Yeah.
That's why, like, Momo from 2018 until 2020 happened. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So when he likes a wrestler,
He's all in.
he wants him on
Yeah.
his side.
All right. Well, Marigold. The first show
Yeah,
was in Shnkiba First Ring. It had 284 fans, which I think is a sellout for
just
their
sell it for
configuration.
Shinkiba
Yeah,
nowadays.
Rossi
because
was
they,
complaining about
changed the
this. Yeah,
capacity, so
he was complaining about that. He was like, "This venue used to have fit like 400 people. What the hell happened? I'm not running here again." So he's probably going to upscale in Tokyo next time he's able to book venues. I don't know if he's going to book Face. He didn't like Shinjuku Face. He said you can't sell merch after in Shinjuku Face. So I don't know
Yeah, I don't know.
where.
He didn't straight up say that he's not going to use Shinkiba anymore. He's just saying that he has said that it was like a different animal now that you have to do different things, and it kind of sucks.
Yeah, I just
So
feel like
I don't know if he's just gonna like stop doing Shinjuku or stop doing Shinkiba because he has Shinkiba booked up for at least another 2 3 months, like 2 months.
yeah,
Um, but eventually he might decide to not let it, But also, I imagine he's a bit worried about it plateauing a little bit, like attendance wise, the company,
mm,
when it's outside of its first month. So I wouldn't be surprised if he just like to keep it safe, maxed at 290. He could just get sellouts
yeah,
every week instead of
I
risking.
mean, if he wants bigger, like, Face is gonna be his best, like, bet to, like, keep it
it
Yeah,
is.
relatively small, but still do tickets because, like, Green Hall is, like, max 300, give or take. Like,
Yeah,
Shinkiba
Green
is what
Hall
it
would be
is.
like worse almost because he can
Yeah,
get 280 here and the merch.
yeah.
So
yeah, and he has a good relationship with the Shinkipo people. Like it just all Shinkipo just is kind of
Sometimes
too
Rossi just be
convenient.
talking. He's probably just gonna book,
that's
like,
This is
true.
true.
so many Shinkiba shows, and this is just not gonna matter.
Fair play, fair play. The opening match of the show was Koki Amare defeating Nao Ishikawa in 9 minutes. Um, I thought this was a bit clunky at
Mhm.
times.
Mm,
I really thought Koki was not ready after watching this. I was like, damn,
yeah.
she
Yeah.
might need work. Now continues to impress me, but yeah, Koki I was doubtful on after it.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
match was rough for Koki.
Yeah,
that's where I
Go
was
ahead.
after seeing, Koki, I was just like, "Wow." Of course, like, I could see that the tools were there. They're in the toolbox, she just doesn't know how to use them, okay?
yeah,
Like, she has an idea of what she ultimately wants her style to be. It's just, like, not anywhere close to, like, coming to fruition quite yet, as where I thought now is just continue to make, like, leaps and strides. I thought she was very good here. If she didn't have a story in place, I probably would have, like, threw my hands up at, her not getting the win here. But since the story is in place, I was like, all right, I understand it. I also don't know how to feel about both of Amari Koki's splashes. The one where she just stands straight up and falls down,
oh
and
man,
then the
yeah,
The tower splash, yeah.
yeah, and then the like was it the amethyst butterfly or
Yeah,
was it? Yeah,
yeah.
correct.
okay.
You're correct.
I don't
Almost
know.
killed her.
As a finish, I don't know.
It's a Goo Goo Gaga splash. I don't know if y'all
Yeah.
remember. Um,
The Goo Goo Gaga splash. Yeah.
always. Yeah, I thought that Nao Ishikawa looked great, just in terms of character work and physically. I thought that her output was really good. Koki is interesting because she has the issue of she's big, but she's not very powerful.
Yeah,
Which is like, you know,
that's bad, kind of.
yeah,
It's like,
it makes things harder, right? Like if you're
mm,
not going in that direction, you need to find a direction. And it's not like she's like a lanky tall. You know what I mean? It's not like she's the Yumioka, where it's like Yumioka could just fucking boot you in the face over and over again, and nobody would complain. Like Koki feels like she should be a powerhouse, but she isn't.
yeah.
Which makes it kind of like, okay, what is she? You can't really decipher it yet. She did
It's
hit.
probably
I
like
called out
really
a few
rough.
moves. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's probably really rough for her considering like uh it was said like most of the actors girls they had to train in this traditional
Mhm.
way compared to however they were training at actors girls. So like she didn't really need a style necessarily.
Yeah. No, you're right.
So
Well,
like
the
she's
thing
learning from scratch, kinda. So like it's kind of she's trying to figure stuff out. It's weird.
Yeah, the thing with Koki is I feel a lot of what made her stand out in Actress Girls hasn't carried over to Marigold yet. Um, like she was this tall androgynous dancer who would like throw lariats and stuff, and now she's
Hmm.
just tall-ish, wears purple, and does some splashes. She's not even got the androgynous thing down. She's got the long hair now and the ponytail. It's less. It's not really Utami levels of cool. Um,
Yeah,
and so I feel she's really suffering from losing what made her stand out in Actress Girls, and this is why people kind of stopped hyping her up towards the end of her actress run. Like I remember, the actress stage guys were kind of saying she's really plateaued and she
yeah, that's
hasn't
what I
kicked
heard.
it up a gear yet. And I feel she's missing what used to make her look like a star, and she has to re-find it.
Uh,
I th- yeah.
I could see it. I think it might be a matter of like, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. We'll see. I hear that her show has ended, basically, like her theater
Yeah.
play ended, so she'll probably be more heavily in the dojo, which
Off the shows
was
Mhm.
this weekend, so I don't know.
she is.
Yeah, she's not on the shows this
Oh,
weekend.
okay, yeah, we
Dylan
might be.
takes the H terribly immediately. Um,
Yeah.
it's
Well, because
amazing
the story of the match was Ishikawa saying like, "You don't come to fucking practice.
practice and all that.
You're too busy uh doing your theater shit, and you don't give a fuck about pro wrestling. I'm gonna humiliate you because of that."
Nao
Um,
Ishikawa is genuinely like one of the
she's
most
spitting.
interesting people in
Yeah.
pro wrestling because she's just a big pro wrestling gatekeeper, and it's like I work harder than all of you.
And then she loses, and then she lost this match. She's like, "Why the fuck did they put me in the blue corner? I'm red corner material. You understand that? Y'all keep
And it's
underestimating me,
it's
man."
amazing because like it's not just like character stuff. Like now it's like putting in the work in the ring. Like she's really
Yeah.
making strides.
But
Yeah, we
Koki
can
hit a
we can
bunch
like
of
do big thoughts on now because she's off the shows this weekend, so we can like
yes,
talk a bit about how that's gonna impact the shows.
Mhm.
Because the
very
next match,
wait, very
if we're ready to
briefly,
move on.
very
Oh, okay,
briefly.
all right.
Koki hit the haluva kick, the dominator, the spine buster, and the one-armed RKO because she's really fucking with mid 2000s WWE, I guess. And Jake Lee.
She played a lot
Um,
of SmackDown versus Raw 2008.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because
Yeah.
the
she hit
one
that
arm
one-armed
RKO.
RKO. That
Oh yeah.
one-armed RKO, I was like, wait a minute, that's a callback. Big Legend Killer fan over here.
Yeah. Um. Our next match was Myla Grace beating Zeta Steel in 7 minutes. I feel like they were both a lot more natural here against one another than they were on the first show, where there was
Mhm.
clearly just pacing differences and language differences. It wasn't good, don't get me
Oh
wrong.
no.
They still both have a ways to go, but I thought they both showed noticeable jumps from match one to
Mm.
match two.
Yeah.
And I think Zeta is really she's proven me so wrong. She
Yep.
is
Yeah.
like
100%.
because I knew she was charismatic and I knew she had presence, but I didn't think she would take to the wrestling side of it this well. I didn't know if she would fit the Joshi style, but she has adjusted the way she wrestles to fit it. She works faster, she hits harder, she's a lot more impactful offense. Like she looks like somebody who if she was here for 6 months training and getting reps consistently, she's going back to America as a full package.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I thought that kind of showed through here. I thought this match was bad. I thought that the opening I thought the opening was really bad. The opening was dog shit.
Oh my
Me,
god, it was
me,
awful.
Xavi, and Scott watched this together,
I
and we just
texted Ash
groaned.
after the opening, and I was like, Ash, this might be the worst wrestling match of all time. And you should go watch it.
We just groaned because it was just so poorly done. But then they went to the
Yeah,
outside
yeah,
and they
yeah.
got back in, and Zeta especially like kind of turned it on and like was in sync
Mhm.
with all of her stuff, really clicked with everything. So I will say this was better than the tag match because it didn't go 15
Yeah, oh
minutes.
for sure.
Um,
Yeah.
and they definitely started to figure it out. But yeah, I definitely see a lot more in Zeta than I do in Mila because I think
Mhm.
Mila just still feels completely out of place, just physically, like just
In
literally like
fairness, I did
placement wise.
say Mila is in the wrong company. I feel like she fully fits Stardom a lot more.
The comparison that I made was she feels like a less complete
Oh
Alex
yeah,
Gracia.
yeah.
Um,
Good point.
and
Good
and
point.
Alex Gracia wasn't great, but she
Mhm.
was serviceable. She was certainly,
Yeah.
a solid enough wrestler. But it feels like that's like Mila's limit is like to get to where Alex
I
Gracia
don't know.
was.
I still see something in Mila. I think there's something there. I just don't know if she'll get it in this
Yeah,
tour. You know?
it'll be difficult because like Zeta figured out
Yeah.
this flow
Yeah.
pretty quickly. This
I
match you
think
saw
she
it,
more
and in
so
the Aono
picked it
match
up
you
on the
definitely saw it.
yeah, yeah. That's what I was about to say. I
Uh,
think she figured it out more the second match.
yeah. So, but like,
Mm,
so Zeta gets the flow, gets the pacing of certain things, which I wasn't expecting her to very this quickly. Um, I think Mila, it's going to take longer for her to actually start getting good because she needs
yeah.
to get the flow first, and she hasn't shown that. Even in the My Sakurai match, we'll talk about in a few minutes. It's like it felt like My Sakurai was like having to really guide her, and it's like My Sakurai isn't the greatest guide, but it's like when My Sakurai is the one who really has to like keep you in check, that's not always a great sign. But
That's
that's something we'll
fair.
talk about
I will
later.
take the L on Mila for now, but I am not giving up
Hey,
on
I'm not
I'll
writing her
keep
off. I'm not
I'll
writing her off,
keep
but
more of my Zeta praise for the Aono match because that's where I really want to
yeah,
get
yeah.
into
that's
it.
fair.
But yeah,
That's fair. Our next match was Bozilla beating Utami Hayashishita and Victoria Yuzuki. We should mention this card was changed around late on because Nanai Takahashi got COVID and was off the weekend. She seems okay. She's on this weekend
yeah.
shows, thankfully. So hopefully she's all right. But yeah, Bozilla beat Utami and Victoria Yuzuki. This only has a 7 on cage match, which I think is really low. I
That's
thought this was
yeah.
great. Like,
I I just want to say, I mean, it's even more apparent on her second match, but everybody in this company just loves working Bozilla. Just because like
yes.
she's a big wrestler that they can try to chop down. Like Utami was having a blast.
Hmm.
Like she was trying her hardest to knock her down. And I thought like Yuzuki, she of course she looked better in the second match that she has in this loop, but she fit in very well. They kind of like started working it like it was still a tag match because Utami and Yuzuki were supposed to be partners.
Yeah.
So they were just like, yeah, let's try to take her down. And like they're just having so much because Bozilla's just very good at being that big imposing figure that you got to try to chop down.
Mm.
Yeah, they
And I
used the power of judo and friendship to like even the odds against Bozilla. And
Yeah.
that was so sick because
and
it
it
was
barely
like,
worked.
yeah, but like even so, I was
It
like,
did not work.
they're
No.
not going to beat her, but like if they beat her right now in a 2v1, shit, that's okay. Like, like
Yeah.
they made it convincing to where it's like they're really tried really hard. I don't think I would be upset if they stacked her up
Yeah.
as much as they could and then, just barely beat her and she gets up and gets mad and rampages.
And
Like that would have
another
been a
thing
fine finish with me.
and
Which
another
I thought
thing
they
is
worked very well.
yeah, of course, I love Godzilla's Korakuen performance, but she was just so much more calm on these two shows. Probably because smaller crowd. Plus,
Yeah.
she's got that first match out of her system, debuting in Japan. She seems a lot more calm, collected. She didn't seem as awkward as she did in her first match of the Korakuen. Of course, it's different circumstances, but getting that first match done and being well received probably did a lot for her confidence wise. She seems cool, collective, and like she wasn't moving as awkwardly as she was in that first match. Like, she's looking. I think I came out of this two show stretch even more sold on her than I was after Corkin, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, last week on the show, I said there was two things with Bozilla that I wanted her to improve on, and one was emoting a bit better, and the
Mhm.
other was filling the gaps between the moves. And I feel like she did both of those just like that. Like she just picked up both of them.
That's scary. That's
'Cause sh
scary.
Yeah, because she was a natural here. Like, and even at the
Yeah.
tag, the time spent between the actual moves is a lot more natural already. And she did have a lot more emotions. I think her selling was very smart. Her being like, "Come on, bitch, like try me," was
Yeah.
her being actually angry instead of just mean mugging. Like she's already growing the intangible parts of being a wrestler. And that's only after a week. So I did think her performance was even better across this weekend because she just picked up on the little things that quickly. Um, and Utami obviously, I think loves chopping down wrestlers like this. Utami is having the
Mhm.
time of her life, and I think it's the best form of Utami as well because she's always been the best as a baby face, but she's so like tall and strong that there's very few people she can be a baby face against.
Mm.
Whereas against Bozilla, and as we saw last year against Megan Bain, she gets to be the big powerhouse who's also a baby face, and it just suits her so well. So I really enjoyed this match, and I thought everybody came out looking a lot better from it. Bozilla winning is kind of what you need to do. I don't think she should lose for a long time if it was
Yeah.
me. So yeah, I thought everything about this is pretty perfect.
Yeah, that was a ton of fun. I love that Bozilla hit a fucking Alabama slammer, bro. That was
Yeah.
insane. I was just like, this is such a unique wrestler. Like this wrestler is so, like Bozilla's just absurd, and I thought this was a lot of fun. Um, I agree that it felt like she just kind of like it clicked a bit more individually, for her. Uh, and the crowd still loves her on both these shows very clearly. So it's like she has momentum in that sense as well. Um,
Um,
yeah, I was very happy with this match.
Another thing to mention before we move on is like after this match, first she talked some shit to Utami, and
Oh yeah.
of course we're gonna get into what Utami ends up asking for. But backstage, Bozilla just makes it clear that like she wants the red belt.
She might get
Yes,
it.
I would give it to her.
I
I don't know who
would.
she
I'm ready.
Yeah,
Sari wants to be Antonio Inoki, so let's give Bozilla the red belt, bud. Okay,
I'm
that's
into
one
it.
of her
I'm into it.
pillars.
Um, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Dave Meltzer actually compared Bozilla to Monster Ripper, and I had been
Yeah,
saying that for a couple of weeks.
That's
And
beast.
if there's
we
one
yeah we
thing
have talked
Dave,
about that.
if there's one thing Dave knows, it is Joshi history. I will never ever slander him on that regard. He's one of the
Yeah,
biggest bastions of the Crush gals and stuff like that. He knows what he's talking about.
yeah. His
And
current
I,
stuff can be but like if you go
yeah,
back like deep enough, he's good for it.
yeah, he's a great historian. So I think not just from me, but from Dave to compare Bozilla to Monster Ripper, who was a prodigy in her own right. Like she was 20
Yeah,
and was wrestling in AJW at its one of its peaks. Like that is
yeah. I mean,
insane.
her first match in AJW, similar to Bozilla. I want to say she had like maybe 6 matches before she got to AJW and
Yeah.
beat the
And
the
beat
beauty pair.
Jackie Sato. Like they
Yeah,
went crazy there. So I can see the comparison. I was making it for a couple of weeks. Like this is a wrestler
I was
archetype that
holding
we
out
haven't
on it,
seen
but I
done
could
this
see it.
well.
I could definitely see it.
Yeah, we haven't seen it done this well in a long time because
Certainly.
it is difficult to pull off. So
Okay.
um, that was all that. Was it after this Tommy challenged or was
Yes.
that okay?
This.
So
Yes,
This.
that's why I held off
Utami
on it.
Tommy got on the microphone and she said, "Hey, Nanai Takahashi, I want to wrestle you at Cork and Hall." And let me just say, I'm all in. I think
I
we're
am
all
too.
all in. That is an insane match for your
I
card.
think.
You don't need to try to sell me on this. Like,
Yeah, I think it's
I'm
so
in.
fascinating because like the idea because it was before it, Bozilla grabbed the mic and said, "Japan loves me. I'm the motherfucking Bozilla. Size doesn't matter." And
By the way,
Yeah,
that was a
afterwards,
bar. I'm the
yeah,
motherfucking
fucking
Bozilla. That is
Bozilla. That's the
incredible.
real.
yeah, that
One.
was that
Oh, I
was
love
Hey,
her
fucking
if they
so
put
classic.
that on,
much.
hey, put that on a t-shirt. I get it.
Yes.
100%. But so after that, Utami's like, "Damn, I think I need some passion." So like, I like that Utami's like, okay, Bozilla's a fucking threat. I need to lab.
I would sit on that singles for a while. I'll be
They
real.
probably will. Maybe Ryogoku, maybe a bit later.
I would. I
I think
understand doing.
I think
If you
Bozilla's
do it at
probably here long term.
Ryogoku, if you do it at Ryogoku, Bozilla's probably gonna win. That's the thing.
The next one?
Because I think you should do a long game with this.
Yeah. Are you
Probably.
saying the July one?
Yes,
June?
we only
Or
know
That's
about
July?
what
one,
Dylan is
Alex.
Okay.
assuming. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they do Bozilla Utami there.
I hope
I-
not, because
No. Because
I would
I
sit
could
especially
see
on this
them
for a
not doing
while.
that.
I think especially if you have WWE wrestlers, Utami has wanted to wrestle Io for so long.
Yeah.
I would do
Yes.
that.
That's a good
And
point.
I think Bozilla can wrestle either Iono or Mirai. Bozilla's actually paired off with Mirai a lot. I think
Yeah.
Mirai
I do think they
Bozilla
were
would
fun
be.
on the second show.
They
Yeah,
were.
I think
They were.
Mariah and Bozilla did very good.
Like, I
together.
think they'd be a perfect world title match, or
Yeah.
even Miko Iono. I think Iono versus Bozilla would be very interesting. So I wouldn't do Utami Bozilla. I would hold off on that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I appreciate that Tommy's like kind of like, damn, I'm 0 for 2 so far. I need to fight Nanai, to kind of like get this
One
ship on
thing about
track.
Rossi that post Bushiroad kind of fell off because he had so many more shows to book. He used to be really good at, wrestlers reacting to wins and losses and
Yes,
like running with that as a direction.
hmm
And I think we did see that fall away a little bit. But that has always been something he's good at. If a wrestler loses, they can usually go, "Oh, well, I have to get better," and they'll like spin that into something
I think
else.
wrestling misses that a lot. Like a lot of companies just
Yeah.
fail to do that
I mean
because
that
they're always
was
like, "Oh, I lost this title match. Okay, how am I gonna get back to this title?" Like it's not
Mhm.
about okay, what are the steps necessary that I should take in order to get
that
back into
was
contention?
Mayu's entire career up
Yeah.
until
hmm
her second red belt reign was like just like, okay, like I can't consistently win ever. I need to figure this out. And eventually she did, and like that's what makes her one of the best of all time, was how well she was able to manage that and move forward. uh so I totally agree. I think that is an interesting thing because yeah, Utami's already like I need to really do something here. I
Mhm.
need some passion. So yeah,
For sure.
biggest
And
passion injection match of all time, probably.
definitely. The next match was Miko Aono and Natsumi Shozuki beating Shiaki and Misa Matsui. Um, I wish they marked who won and who lost because that is important to me. Oh my god, no. Scott. He's not going to say
Oh
anything.
boy.
He's not going to say anything. And I'm going to look insane
You know what's
because it's not
crazy,
going to pick up on the
Alex?
recording. What?
You just did a bit from like a political. So I'm not even gonna get into it, but
Yeah,
there
yeah.
it sounded like Scott was Sam Cedar for a second, and you were Steven Crowder. But
Steven
we can
Crowder.
move
Oh
on.
my god.
Yeah,
That's
that's why I was like that
mean.
was about to be really mean.
Okay. Well, Aono and Suzuki beat Chiaki and Matsui.
I
Um,
love this match
I think this was a
As
lot
do I.
better than the Fields Forever actress tag. Like
for sure.
Yes,
because as I
actively.
said before they jumped, if you get any three or any two of Aono, Suzuki, and Matsui in the ring together, you're getting gold. And this was gold.
I
Like
thought
they were
Chiaki had
gold.
herself a hell of a performance on
She
this
did.
one.
Chiaki had a day.
Uh,
She had a good
yeah.
day.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
for
she was
sure.
good on the other one too. That's why I said she talk about somebody that bumped their stock up. She was tremendous, and I absolutely loved this Shozuki and Aono team.
Mm, definitely. I
Yeah,
feel
no, I
like
agree.
they.
I go.
Sorry, you can go.
Very good. Okay. Yeah, I thought that Chiaki, any like hint of like a misstep in the Mirai match was completely gone here, and she was just a really good wrestler. Like you would think that she's been wrestling for uh as long as anybody else in this match. You know what I mean? Like I feel like she didn't get showed up by anybody, and I thought that was a really big deal. I love her just physically, her moves. I'm a big fan of like what she does in the ring. I am a Chiaki believer, firmly now.
She
That
does the
it
big
feels
Bob
like
Lash spear.
she
Come
does the
on.
Bob Lashley spear.
I
She
like
does
the
the
rise
Iron
of the
Claw.
spear in Joshi. I feel like we
Hell
didn't
yeah.
used to see it, and now loads of people do it. Scott, I swear to God, I hate you so much.
For context, people who are listening, Scott has joined our recording session, but is muted and is texting us in reply so that none of you can hear. Like he's such a heel, he's such a bad guy that he refuses to allow y'all to hear what he's saying. So he's just trolling us in the chat. And Scott, that was not an invitation. Please do not unmute because 3 is enough.
I think a fourth voice would actually crash my
Yeah,
laptop
crash our
probably.
recording. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I apologize, everybody. This is a chaotic ass episode. But I thought Chiaki did it especially great here. And I just think shouts out
Yeah,
Biggie.
yeah.
But I think Shizuki is like the perfect sadist in pro wrestling, and I'm so happy that she.
Alex is dying.
Yeah. I like this match. I liked everybody in this match.
Let me tell
Shizuki's a
Shizuki
fucking
something.
asshole.
Let me tell Shizuki something right now. This whole I don't have much time left. That's not real, bud. You're locked in.
Yeah, you better stay.
You're going until you're 50, homegirl. Are you still laughing at the Big E gif?
Yeah. Well, it's everything. It's everything. I think the stress of planning this show has caught up to me. I've gone delirious.
Yeah.
It's just everything.
We
Scott
rescheduled the show by
is,
one day, and this is what happens.
yeah. Oh God. Well, that was a fun match.
Yeah, shouts out the phenomenal one.
Oh,
I
Nicaragua.
that's okay. That's one last thing. Is Matsui went for a Rana, and Alan caught her with the Styles Clash.
yeah.
Crazy finish. Love
What
that.
do you guys think of Matsui? She's like losing a lot more than I thought. Is she just so young that they're gonna reset her? Like that she's getting a
She's
lot of
young.
Well,
She
I
play?
think
said she's
she's
gonna be there
just
for 20 years.
Yeah.
She
I think she's
is
just
small.
destined for the super flyweight belt whenever that comes, so they're just like
Yeah.
waiting.
That's fair because I think
Yeah,
she's
I
0 and
think
3
that's
as
it.
well, which is kind of
No,
crazy.
she beat
No,
she beat
yeah,
she beat
Actually,
Ishikawa.
yeah.
1 and 2, but it's kind of interesting. Yeah, the main
I
You
event
have
found
then.
it.
more time with her than you do the others.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
what I
and
was
that
thinking
is
as
that
well.
is where I find it interesting. Shizuki has not been involved in a fall yet, so she hasn't been beat, but she also hasn't won yet.
Yeah,
Um,
prime white
so it's
belt
like
contender way back in the day.
yeah. But I'm interested in like it's fascinating, and people rightfully will say that I'm giving Marigold a bit more breathing room that I give Stardom when it comes to my criticism about this specific thing. Is that it's like I'm interested in the people who aren't really doing much right now, like who aren't like who feel like they're just like kind of treading water first couple weeks,
That's
like
different.
Shizuki, like Chiaki, um, who neither of them have like Chiaki's been losing or she's not been really involved.
Mm.
Like stuff like that,
Well,
Matsui
I
as
feel
I
well.
like
think
I
it's
But
treat
different because
those
this
like rookies, like
yeah,
Aya
that's
and
the thing.
Rana, because these
That's
are
the thing.
new, really.
yeah, this
But
company's
even with
like new, so
Shizuki,
like nothing has like a set structure like Stardom does.
there's another Noonday gif, isn't there? There's
He keeps sending.
there's another yep, there's another Biggie gif. Yep.
Yeah, there is.
Another Big E gif has hit the Discord.
Alex
um,
just can't handle Big E gifts. That's
yeah,
crazy.
no, shouts out Big E though. But no, like Shizuki, like it's fascinating. Alex, you gotta calm down.
Yeah, we still got another show to
Yeah,
get to, bud.
we got a show to get through. Shizuki's interesting. That I'm interested in what she does because, like I said, she hasn't really won or lost anything yet. So I'm interested to see like what her, uh, you know, first like thing to sink her teeth into is here. Because
She's
she
Hiroki
is
Goto before he got
impressing me a
absolutely
lot.
bitched out. That's what she is.
Chiaki?
No,
Okay,
Shizuki.
Shozuki.
yeah,
All right, yeah, yeah.
because
That's
Goto
fine.
actually used to win, and then Okada beat him, and Okada said, "You're my
And he
Yeah.
never
bitch
won
now,"
again.
and he said, "Yeah, that's true."
Oh my God. Well, that's pleasant. Our main event was Nagisa Nozaki and Sari beating Mai Sakurai and Mirai in 16 minutes. Sari simply sat on Mai to win, which is
Yeah, that was
incredible.
raw.
She hit
That
her
was
with the
raw.
ode to Ito, bro. She won with
Um,
the fucking Ito foot stomp.
oh,
Dude,
Shit
that
was
was
okay.
insane.
crazy.
Sari's pillars in pro wrestling are insane. First, we got Antonio Inoki, Karu
Hmm.
Ito, Bozilla, and Tiffany Stratton. Like, this is a
Yeah,
crazy
damn
group of
right.
people.
Um, I said this about Sari during the week, and I'm gonna take the Scott praise out of it because he's annoying me now.
Yeah.
Sari like puts in the work outside of the ring to
Yes.
call up Tokyo Sports and talk her shit. So her saying, "I am the ace," I her saying, "I am the ace of this promotion now. Screw all of you," immediately makes every match she has with everybody other than Julia more impactful. Because her Mirai here was like, "What do you mean you're the ace? I'm Mirai." you know. So I think that added a
Yeah,
lot of
that's
weight
not the
to the
same,
match.
but like,
And
yeah, it
and
added a
Saori
lot.
went, "You smile too much, homegirl."
Yeah. So I do think her like putting in the work outside the ring is one of the things that makes Sari,
So
puts
like,
her ahead of the rest.
what is up with Nozaki, man? She was a lot better on the second show,
I
but
I think she's just
she
playing her
hasn't
role.
been okay. Because I was gonna say she hasn't been as good as she has been since leaving Wave. So I was just kind of like, "Yo, what are
Yeah.
you doing, bud?"
I feel
Yeah, I
like
think
she's
she's
just
like
waiting for her
I think
big
Okay,
she's like,
no,
match.
You
that's
put
fair.
me against my Sakura as my first feud. I'm a hold out a little bit. I'm gonna take a minute.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
She was better on the second
adjust.
show. She was more
Yes,
invested there,
yes.
but like,
And to a degree, I think she's just like, oh, I'm playing one of the heels, so I'm going to heal it
yeah.
up a little bit. So I feel like she's just waiting for her best stuff to come in. But she is very much a very good, like, dickhead heel. I
Oh
think she's
no,
doing
yeah,
that really well.
I like her role teaming with
Yeah.
Sari and then
I
Bozilla,
think
of
I think
course.
the other the other aspect of it is that she's teamed with Mila in a bad match. She teamed with Sari in a match about Sari, and she teamed with Bozilla in a match that had Bozilla in it, so it was
Yeah.
not about her.
Yeah,
So like she had no reason to really like especially show up in any three of those matches. Um, I agree. I think she had a really good performance in the match we'll
yeah.
talk about a little bit later. Here, I thought she did good as well,
Team
but
Seed
generally,
prevailed though.
yeah, generally,
Seedling has
Sari.
won the war over Marigold.
Yeah,
This match
damn
was
right.
really fucking good, and it was still Sari's worst of the year. That's the
Ye-
insane aspect of this.
After this
Is
match
that
happened, I was talking to Scott and Dylan. And I was just like, "Do you know how hard it is to just not rate every Sari match like above an 8 and put it in match
yeah,
of the year contention?"
Yeah.
like I said, this was her weakest match of the year that I've seen at least. Um, and it was really fucking good. That's where we're at.
She rocks. I thought her opposite the baby faces made them both really good. I thought
Yes.
Mirai had a great showing here opposite Sari. I thought Mai as well when she was called on did well. I think Mai
Oh yeah,
Sakurai has
I
really
thought she had
leveled
a
up a bit.
very good performance here.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was always a Mai defender, and I think she's definitely leveled up a bit here, and we're just waiting for the one
This
match where
was
she's going to show out.
this was easily by far her like best performance ever.
Yeah,
Like
for
she
sure.
held her own, like
Okay, well that's
respected.
not true because the Chen Yoda match, but I agree.
She
Um,
did nothing in that match. You're not
okay,
doing
that's
this,
true. That's
buddy.
true.
Okay,
She did a
she
couple cool
actually
moves.
did stuff here.
She
That
did
was
Yeah.
all
wrestle. Yeah,
Chen Yoda and
bro,
Nita.
she mounted Sari with the forearms and got her in the throat, and Sari just grabbed her hair. And was like, "We're not doing that." She just started dog walking her.
What
That
a
was
beast,
insane. My
truly.
Sakurai took a beating here, man.
She did.
That was the
I
most
loved Mariah and
exciting
Sari.
aspect of this match, though, was my Sakurai taking a beating from
Yeah.
Sari. So
Yeah.
Well,
like,
that and Mirai trying to fight off and just getting
yeah,
beat around. It was great. This was a
Sari didn't
great
even do
match.
moves here. That's the craziest part. She was
Yeah.
just throwing forearms, slapping him a couple
yeah.
times. Like
Doing
she
Ito
she
foot
hit a couple.
stomps. That's
Kicking
Yeah,
it.
him, kicking
she
him a
said
bit.
shouts out Ito a few times. Yeah, like she was not like and I appreciated that. And I thought after the match, Julia chewing out Mariah and my Sakurai, and Mariah like standing up and looking
Oh,
like she
that was
wanted
good.
to kill Julia
I
was
like that
like,
DDM thing continuing a little bit. I'm
yeah,
very into
because
it.
it's like Mariah and my Sakurai still feel like Julia's lackeys, even though like Mariah's obviously above that, and my Sakurai is very gladly Julia's lackey. Like
Yeah.
that's
All right, well, that's
historically
a bit
that is
harsh.
no, but
No,
that's
that's
her
Yeah,
true
I
that's
though.
get,
her
That's
I
real.
character.
get you though.
Like even looking at that post match, Mirai stood up and was like, "The fuck do you just call me?" And my Sakurai is
Mm.
like, "I understand. I'll do better next time."
With once again though, Rossi, fair play, taking a loss and spinning it into something.
1%,
Because
1%.
Julia being like, "Yeah, you suck," and Mariah going, "Ah, me?" I don't think I'm allowed to say it, but you know that meme that some people post with the SpongeBob guy looking cross, and it's like I'm E-word, where he's like questioning it.
Oh yeah, no, I know what
Yeah,
you're talking
yeah.
about. I thought you
That's
were
that
gonna
was that
say.
was Mariah.
I thought you were gonna reference that. It felt like Mirai wanted to say, "I don't care that you broke your elbow," because that's what it felt like.
No, no.
It felt like she
I don't
was,
think I'm allowed to say the P word. I don't think really.
pussy.
Yeah, I don't think we're allowed. It's a bit of a
I don't know. I
I don't
rare.
accidentally
think that's
called someone a
true,
bitch
but
today. I feel
That's
I feel
fair.
like this podcast is a
It's a
bit.
funny meme. It's a funny meme. So
mhm,
Mariah resembled that. But that was the first show. Good show.
mhm.
I had a good time with it.
Yeah,
The
I
second
thought that the
show,
second show was
I
weaker, so we can kind of just run through it a bit
yeah. Well,
more.
there was no sorry. There was no sorry.
yeah.
Also true.
Um,
But before we do that, that's isn't like after this where
Oh yeah,
Nozaki was
the
like, "Yo, now
Korkins.
you want some smoke, bud?"
Oh yeah, because
And then
now didn't now challenge her after the opener?
no,
Kind of.
no,
No.
uh, no,
Okay, so what happened?
Nozaki
What
was
happened?
just
What
kind of
happened?
like,
I know exactly what happened here.
Okay, thank you.
Yuzuki challenged Sari
yeah.
after this match. That was the big
Sorry,
thing.
said I.
And Sari's like, shit, okay, little kid, let's beat the fuck out of you now. And then Nozaki challenged Ishikawa for the Korakuen as well.
Ishikawa tried to get in the ring, and Nozaki's like, "Calm down, bud. You're not like that. Stay right there."
Yeah,
Yeah. Which, by the way, I think that's a great match. Nozaki versus Now. It's like
yeah. They
Nozaki
need to
just
get
beat
Nozaki a
her.
singles win. So yeah,
Yeah, she could just like dog walk her, and Now can get the the fighting from
Sympathy.
underneath bonus. Yeah, for sure. I think it's a great match. Um, so that was that show. We then had a show in the evening, also at Shnkiba. Don't have the attendance for this on Cage Match, but I think it was like 270.
That's
So
600.
10 people got lost along the way. Um,
hotter
we
crowd though.
had it did. In the opener, Misa Matsui beat Nao Ishikawa. More of the same. I think a good
Mhm.
match. Now fighting from underneath. Misa was very good. She's really good.
Nisa was a dickhead in this one. It was really good.
Yeah, she's so versatile, man. She's so good.
Yeah, I think Ishikawa's match flow is a bit simplistic, and like after seeing 3 of her singles matches in a row, uh, I kind of like get it now. And
Yeah.
she could probably like add a bit more to it, especially early on.
Mhm.
But Matsui did enough to really like get good stuff out of her, especially in the second half. And yeah, Matsui being the sadistic goblin is so sick. It's kind of sick that Matsui and Shizuki and Aono are just like sadists. Uh,
Yeah.
how are they not pro wrestlers for so long? Because
Mhm.
they're just like evil.
Um,
But, yeah,
anything more? Or are we good?
Well, good.
Right.
I liked it.
All right.
A little bit of say what I wanted to say. Ishikawa's match layout. So good.
I guess two matches we could into one kind of match where I migrate in just about 8 minutes, and then down beat say still in exactly 8 minutes. I kind of said, oh boy, what was that?
Good.
Back. Yeah, I had a moment, I think. So,
Yeah.
um, Money match on the four another bottom. Xavier did a lot better. I don't know. I did think Milo would heal for Milo to work off. Like it was a solid heal dynamic there. But they don't really went to there.
Oh, is that an Alex issue? Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
love
You
that.
you were getting robot-y.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you are.
Oh,
That's better. I don't know
Yeah,
what
now we're
okay.
happened,
good.
but
That was
That
hilarious actually.
that is
Because
nasty.
I thought it was my issue. I was like, oh fuck, that's not good. But
no,
no, okay,
How
we
much
both
did
were
you hear?
experiencing that.
How much did you not hear?
nothing. All of it.
We
Oh my
heard
god.
we heard most of it. Yeah.
Are you sure?
I
I
didn't,
mean, not
but
very clearly, but I heard it.
oh yeah,
Oh,
heard it, but
okay.
not like clear.
Okay. So Zeta was better than Mila. Mai
Yes.
was a good heal for Mila. Uh,
Yeah.
Zeta did really well fighting up against Iono and
Yeah.
looked
Mhm.
relatively like her equal. So,
Yeah, I thought this was a great Zeta performance.
mhm.
Not she got to get in there in a single setting with Aono, who Aono is already very good, but she worked so well with Aono. I love the little spot where Zeta got her out to the apron and like egged her onto like kick her, and then she trapped her leg and
Yeah.
got the upper hand. Like I said, I thought she worked very very well here. So where like after watching this, it's just like yeah, she like if she got a couple months here really, really solid. Like, just let her go all out. Should be really, really good.
Yeah, I
Sure.
think I think she has a good foundation to kind of build off of, a better one than I was
Mhm.
expecting, because she's a modern chicken shit, so it's like she can still wrestle, but like that's not like her full thing.
Yeah.
But she's a solid enough seller to where it's like I don't mind her, and like as things progress, she can really like build on that foundation that she has.
She can be
Um,
heavy-handed with the character stuff, which I understand. Like, she's
yeah,
trying to set
but
her up for like her future and all that. But like, she could probably like downplay that a little bit more, and because there's like a genuine, like, very good pro wrestler trapped inside of her. So
I
like,
I I think that like the character stuff worked here. I thought like the push
yeah,
ups
no,
after she
it
like
works here.
got her advantages was like kind of cool.
Yeah.
Her trying to get the the off the rope, get the pin off the rope. I thought that was like a cool little thing of her just like trying to, take an easy way out. I think that works because it wasn't too aggressive, but it was layered in very well. As for my Mila, yeah, I said it earlier, I thought Mai did like solid. I thought that Mai was like really like trying to be the straight man of the match, I guess you can say, the stable of the match, but I just don't think she was able to get much out of Mila here. I would like to see Mila against somebody a bit better. I'd
Mhm.
like to see Mila against Matsui. I think that's the match that she can maybe like show the best of herself. Um, I don't think Mai is necessarily where Mila is going to get the best match, but she definitely didn't rise to Mai's level,
I
in my
kind of want to
opinion.
see
Oh
Zeta tag up with Shozuki for a match.
no, I was thinking Zeta and Bills would be great. I think them as like a heel
And who?
team would Zeta and Chiaki.
Ah,
I can see
yeah,
that.
Yeah, like, I'd love them as a heel team.
Yeah, I can see that.
Can you guys hear me, or is this just
I can hear you.
yeah.
I can
No,
hear
no,
you.
we can
okay?
hear you. You're good now.
All right.
You just when you said Chiaki, like it cut out. That was the
Yeah,
only thing that
Of
cut out.
course.
So we were,
Um,
yeah. So it sounded
well,
like we didn't know what you
I,
said.
I get the criticisms of Zeta as well as a character. I think
yeah,
sometimes she's very Sasha Banks light, which is kind of there's an
Mm,
entire generation of those who have to
yeah,
yeah,
tone it down. But I will say she's probably adjusting. She is used to in America having a manager who like wraps her
yeah.
to the ring and enhances the act. So she is getting used to being on her own in that regard. So I think she will level it out eventually, I think.
yeah. I'm hopeful for Zeta.
Yeah.
For
Hopefully
sure.
she keeps, she's here and like keeps coming back because I genuinely think she can just keep getting better.
She has nothing
Yeah,
else to be done. MLW isn't
she's
paying that much.
that's what I was gonna say. I was
Yeah.
like, I feel like with Zeta, it's like we see something in someone, and it's like, please just like stay and like so that we don't have to fear of like a
Yeah.
worse wrestler coming by.
I think well, not just that, it's just that you see the foundation and that she can be good. It would really suck if like this is just the only tour she did and she
Yeah,
couldn't like build off of this and
yeah.
she's
If
just
Yeah,
she's
thrown to
here
the
for like
wolves and
2 months
yeah,
and then she just never comes back, that would be
yeah,
probably detrimental to her long term because she could be very good.
yeah.
We
definitely.
can move
That
on.
and like she's so young that like she does not need to be rushing into like a big spot like in America or something like that.
And
Like
there's not a lot of those, really. WWE
yeah,
doesn't
Yeah,
sign as many women out of
yeah,
developmental, and AEW has a lot of women already.
yeah,
So, like, you might as well make a run of it in Japan. So,
yeah.
I
That and maybe she can figure out how to be on her own and because like
yeah,
there's a whole generation of Mercedes Monet lights around. Like you can only have so many on the roster, and it's probably not going to fare well when the actual Mercedes Monet is on like an AEW roster and all
yeah,
that. So like, I think she could take a few years, especially in Japan, to find herself a little bit more.
for
yeah.
sure.
I love that.
Our next match was Bozilla and Nagisa Nozaki beating Chiaki and Mirai in 15 minutes. This is very much your standard Bozilla match by now. She just kind of beats up the baby faces.
But I thought that was awesome, man. It
Oh,
was
I
a,
mean
it was-
that the
I
standard
think
Bozilla match
Mirai,
is awesome.
yeah, Mirai and Chiaki, once again, like we said with Utami and Victoria Yuzuki earlier, had an absolute blast trying to take down Bozilla,
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially Mirai. Mirai looked great going opposite with Bozilla. It was really fun.
Shades of Mirai Mayumi trying to like chop down Aja Kong
Aja
back in the
Kong,
day.
yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
good stuff. Um, but yeah, I thought this was just another good addition to the Bozilla catalog. And Mirai was good fighting from underneath. Chiaki sold really well for Bozilla stuff.
mhm.
Poor girl got beat up with that power bomb.
Yeah. That
I
that was nasty.
Yeah,
The
Bozilla should just
finish.
do the jackknife just because it's like my favorite power bomb
She
because
did
it's
that
like
in the Gorica match, and I
yeah,
was
because it's like
jumping with
you
joy.
want to do a power bomb, but you're just like whatever.
I kind of like the safer landing of this one where she
No,
like
no,
can
I
guide
like
them.
the yeah, I like the safer because it's safe, but like I
Maybe she'll just
ideally
do the jackknife against people who could take it because
yeah,
like
probably
Chiaki's a bit.
Yeah,
I don't be safe with
don't
her.
break Chiaki.
Yeah, be careful. But
Yeah.
Utami takes
Well,
nastier bumps on
that's fair.
clotheslines, man.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's fair. The main event end of the show
Oh,
was
what one more note about that
oh,
one.
all right.
Nozaki and Bozilla worked very well together. Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
surprisingly well
love the
together.
little where Nozaki did her
The
like
Lancer.
the rocket kick and
Oh yeah.
Godzilla just like shoved her
Oh
into it,
yeah, that
like
was
launched
cool.
her.
No, yeah, that was sick.
There's a lot you can do
That,
with
that,
Bozilla if you
that
ever
was exactly
wanted
what I was thinking
to
of.
settle into like teams or factions. There's a lot you can
Hmm.
do with a Bozilla.
Yeah. The last thing I gotta say before we move on is I'm the motherfucking
Yeah,
I'm the motherfucking Bozilla.
I took advantage of the 3-man booth and tweet that during the show because
That's real.
it's a bar. I might name the show that. I won't. I'm
That's
considering it.
real. That's real.
The main event was Utami Hayashishita and Koki defeating Natsumi Shozuki and Victoria Yuzuki in 15 minutes. This was a lot of Utami and Yuzuki, if I remember correctly. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yes, that's what I
Yeah.
remember most of it.
Okay.
And I
It
thought,
was
and
well.
crazy thing is, like, it's not that either of them are bad, but they were quite good against each other.
Yeah, they work really well. I think Utami just like, which is funny because Utami at one point was not very good at wrestling undercarders. Dylan and
Yeah,
I had a
no.
whole episode on it. Her and
Famously.
Inagi had a really bad match once. But Utami now is just this measuring stick for somebody like
Yeah.
Yuzuki to
I
go up
think Utami's
against.
just like the best she's like ever been ever. Like
Oh,
she's just
definitely.
so not just her, but I also think this goes from Mariah where they seem so relaxed in this new environment that
Yeah.
they are just rejuvenated and they're ready for whatever.
Yeah, totally. No, I agree. Koki was the first half of this match, and Utami was the second half of this match. That's kind of how it went. Um, which is kind of an Utami trademark. She likes kind of separating tag matches like that, where it's a bit less frequent tags and more like you take this bulk, I'll take this bulk. I thought Koki did a good job in this spot because she had Yuzuki to sell for her, and she had Shozuki to like make her struggle. Um, and I think that's kind of like best case scenario for a Koki. So she looked really good here, and then obviously Utami is just absurd. Utami and Shizuki especially. They only had a couple minutes there, but I was really loving it. It's making me want a tournament so I can see some of these singles matches.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
and yeah, I I wrote so did, and I didn't finish the note. I meant to say so did Yuzuki, because Yuzuki and Utami did a lot of good work as well. And Utami won with the deadlift German, which I'm
I
always
like
happy
that
to
for a
Yeah.
see her
finish.
pull out because she likes just like kind of like having that in her back pocket. She was hitting it a bit last year, I remember for wins. I think she won in the 5-star once with the German.
Mhm.
Um, and just like small, like it's like remind people, oh yeah, I have this that I can always just beat you with, and I think that's a
It'll never be her
thing
finisher,
to
but
have.
she's got a really good air raid crash.
Oh yeah.
You're
Oh
right.
no.
You're right. But yeah,
She's kicking ass now. It's pretty good. And that was
I have
that
fun with
show.
this.
I don't know if there's much else we can dive into because I want to get into the preview part because there's a few bits to wrap up there.
Yeah.
Like our praise for Nao Ishikawa. Um, we'll just take a break first if you guys are okay with that. I just got to
Yeah,
do something real quick.
that's fine.
So we do have the cards for Marigold this weekend. They announced them earlier today. There were no Stardom cards, which I mean isn't a surprise. There is a show that's going to happen tomorrow.
Has
So
already happened.
by the time this show goes up, it's going to have happened. So I don't think there's much point in talking about it because it'll have already happened. So, looking ahead to Marigold, two things to note is that Koki is not on the shows. She has prior commitments. I know she is like
Mhm.
still doing her acting stuff and maybe still her drag idol band thingy. So probably has other commitments. The other miss, and this is kind of where we can really talk about her. Now Ishikawa, she had I think a small knee injury, so she's off the shows this
As a
weekend.
precaution.
Yeah, precaution.
So I think you really miss now on the cards, which is
Yeah.
crazy to think about. Imagine saying that just a couple of weeks ago that she would be this important to the undercard.
Well,
Um, but
I can imagine it. I don't think
her,
you can.
her story is just one of the most engaging things going on. It's like I'm here all the time. I'm a full time wrestler. Why am I getting overlooked for all of these actresses who aren't here all the time, who aren't putting in all the work? And I think that's really easy to follow and really easy to get into as the shows. You can kind of
No.
see how much the lower card is kind of hurt by that, lack of a story presence. And even Julia, like on the Shnkiba evening show, was like, "Hey, you guys should keep an eye out for now. She's like the one."
Yeah. Yeah, and that is interesting. Oh, by the way, Julia went into surgery. She got her arm done. Done. That
They
sounded like she
actually
had.
installed another arm.
Yeah, they actually grabbed her arm and chopped it off and then put another one on. But yeah, so Nao Ishikawa is one of the more compelling wrestlers in the company thus far. Like
Mhm.
you said, it's because she has kind of a story there,
Mhm.
and I'm a big fan of what they're doing with her. It's a shame that she's definitely not going to win like anytime soon.
And it's not
But
like just her story. It's just like she's had good performances. So it's like
yeah,
Yeah.
it's really gonna suck to not have her on the undercard where
we
like
didn't even mention
she's
it,
gonna be so
but
useful.
one of my favorite spots of the entire two shows was her and Koki doing like some of the stuff together, and then Nao Ishikawa being like, "Hey, that was pretty cool, Nux, bro." Nux, come on,
Mhm.
Nux, and she's punched her in the kidney, like she's just a little asshole, and I think that's so cool. And I think that she just like she knows what she is, which is interesting because she's a baby face who's an asshole. Like
Mm.
usually it's hard to like figure that out properly, and I think that's where I kind of like with Tam, which is obviously the obvious comparison with now. Sometimes it gets frustrating because it feels like Tam like leans into one side too much, and it's like, well, now it doesn't make sense why you do these things if you're being like this so much, like so heavy-handedly. I feel like now Ishikawa is just very human in that sense, and I really appreciate the work she's been doing both in ring and just as a, you know, as a character in the company. So yeah,
For
she will
sure.
be missed on these shows for sure.
Um, Xavier, you got on?
No, y'all basically hit everything I wanted to say, so thanks.
All right.
Yeah, we got you.
So the cards this weekend. The first show is on June 1st. This is in the Osaka 176 box. We have a passion injection match: Nanai Takahashi versus Chiaki. So
That's the
Nanai is going to
real.
win there, but that is pretty incredible. That's a good showcase for Chiaki.
That was like the match. That was the Chiaki match that she wanted to have, and that's the match I
Yeah.
wanted to see. So I'm really excited to see how that goes. Shame it's not live.
Oh yeah, that's kind of upsetting. The next match is kind of interesting. It's Chika Goto versus Victoria Yuzuki.
Mm.
I think it's going to be good to see where Chika slots in their eyes. I mean, if she beats Yuzuki, I think that'd be insane. But I'm not sure they're that high on her just yet.
Which is interesting because she is more over and a bit more advanced than Koki, uh, just generally
Yeah.
vibe wise. So it is interesting how they're gonna use Chikagoto going forward. Might go to a draw. Uh,
Mm, maybe.
they might have 10 minutes on this one. I don't know.
I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah, so depends on the company and like what show, but like sometimes the first couple matches have 10-minute time limits. So they might have a 10 minute, they might have a 15. If it goes to a draw, I'd rather it be a 10. Um, but yeah, we'll see. I'm excited because like if there is a finish, that's an interesting uh precedent to set
Yeah,
for either of them.
definitely.
Mhm.
Our next match is Nagisa Nozaki versus Zeta Steel, which I think will be a very interesting test there because that's
Yeah.
kind
For
of
both
heel
of them.
versus heel.
Yeah.
So who's like the biggest
Who's the
heel,
biggest
I
asshole?
guess?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind
Um,
of.
because yeah, it is interesting because it's like it's a match that can very easily fall apart, but also can be
Yeah.
very good. Like I can see that actually being like Zeta's best match because it's a vibe wise they kind of have a similar.
Vibe wise, maybe she should just team with Nozaki.
Mm,
Yeah,
maybe.
I think that would
Maybe.
probably work well. Um, I was thinking that during the match they had, uh, the Korakuen match. I was like, why are these the teams? Feels like Zeta and Nozaki would mesh way better together. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm interested in this as a singles. It could, like I said, die a bad death, but it could also be pretty good.
All right. Our next match is the Bozilla special. It's Bozilla and Myla Grace versus Natsumi Shozuki and Misa Matsui. This is two more people that we get to test against Bozilla. I think Shozuki against her is really interesting.
Mhm.
Obviously, Matsui is probably going to get squished, which is kind of crazy. So I'm interested in that.
Man, is Mila Grace gonna get a win before Chiaki? Wait, she
She
already
did.
did.
Yeah, yeah, she did.
Damn,
She beat.
this
Yeah.
is unfortunate. Bozilla should
Yeah.
toss Mila Grace at the opponents,
Yeah,
like
I'd be
Beal
for it.
across the ring at the opponents.
Um, our main event was kind of crazy. It's Utami Hashishita and Mirai versus Miko Aono and Mai Sakurai.
Hmm.
Never thought I would see something like this, but this is probably our biggest indication of what Aono is to them.
This is
Mhm.
actress versus judo.
Yeah, like if she goes face to face with Utami, then it's like, okay, this is a big three.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
No, I can see that.
and Mai is there to take the pin. I wonder if Mirai gets a win. She might in Mai, but it's
She
probably
could use a
Utami.
win.
Yeah, she's gonna hit her with that crazy lariat and she's gonna die. It's weird.
Let's hope so. Or they could
Yeah,
go
I
crazy, and
I
Iona
do
wins,
wonder.
but maybe
I
not.
Yeah, I do wonder because my Sakurai and Mirai historically have been kind of on similar playing fields. Like
Yeah,
Mai's just like a bit below her. So I could see Utami beating Mai so that they kind of keep that consistent. Because Mirai's always been actively above Mai Sakurai, but not to the point where it's like out of reach. So
yeah,
they might want to put
Mm-hmm.
Utami over instead of Mirai here.
that's fair. This June 2nd show, I think, is maybe the best card. After you get past the opener, the opener is Chikagoto versus Mila Grace, which I mean has potential to fall apart. I won't lie to you.
Go Cheek is gonna fucking choke slammer the hell. That's what's gonna happen, buddy.
I hope so. I mean, this could go to hell, or it could be like Mila's best underdog performance against the tall woman. Um,
Yeah.
I'm kind of interested. We get into the good stuff with Chiaki versus Nagisa and Ozaki, which again is kind of heel versus heel slightly. Um, I think
Chiaki
Chiaki,
hasn't leaned too much into the heel stuff
she
yet,
hasn't. Yeah,
so I think Nozaki could work heel here. Uh,
definitely. I think this is a big weekend for Chiaki. Back-to-back
mm,
singles matches, two established opponents. I think she has a real chance to prove herself here this weekend.
I agree. I agree. Xavi, how you feeling
Um,
about that one? As one of our resident Chiaki fans.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as y'all. I'm s-
okay.
I don't want to
Yeah.
put all my eggs in the Chiaki basket, but I kind of want to. Be real with you.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I feel that.
Hey, I
Kind of
mean,
think she's the one.
you can like
She ain't
retcon
proven
it and
me.
say you didn't. It's fine.
Yeah,
She hasn't failed me yet.
Yeah,
So
that's
I'm gonna
fair.
keep being hopeful because that should be a good match.
Indeed. Also good is Passion Injection time. Nanai Takahashi versus Misa Matsui. I mean, this is who you want in a passion match. Like Misa
Yeah.
is just she's gonna rise to the occasion.
Yeah, and Nanai's really good at wrestling against people who are like that fast.
yeah.
Yeah.
She, to be fair, Nanai's always loved wrestling Tayo. You know what I mean? So anybody who
Mm,
can like remind her of Tayo in like their the way that they wrestle or the just being fast paced in general, Nanai usually like has like a good grasp on that. So I'm hoping that Misa keeps up the pace and then Nanai cuts her off and this
yeah.
isn't just Nanai grinding on her. Grinding down on her rather. Uh I think that might fall a little bit flatter if Misa doesn't get like her more high octane offense in certain parts here, because I feel like that's where some of her best stuff comes. So um, yeah, I'm excited for this one as well. I think that the Chiaki one I'm a bit more excited for just because of like the styles, and Chiaki obviously having wanted to have that match, but this one has all the makings of a very very good passion injection match.
For
Yeah,
sure.
I'm not doubting Misa.
Yeah,
I'm
me
really
neither.
waiting for that one performance where everybody kind of clocks it. Because she had some stellar performances as an
Hmm.
actress. Um, The next match is the Bozilla special. Bozilla and Zeta Steel versus Mirai and Mai Sakurai. So a bit more of
This is
Mirai
such a
trying to
funny
chop them
team.
down. Yeah.
This
This
is
is
such a
real.
funny match. Yeah.
Zeta like doing my dream is Zeta doing like shithead antics behind Bozilla and like getting under the skin
She's
of
she's
everybody.
doing the, you know,
Doing push ups in the corner and like, ah yeah,
yeah,
get to me, get past Bozilla. Try me. I think that'd be pretty
That's
fun.
good.
I want it.
I can
I
see
need it.
that. I can see that.
Our main event then is pure Stardom versus Actress.
Yes.
In a prior lifetime, Utami Hayashishita and Victoria Yuzuki versus Mika Iono and Natsumi Shozuki.
This is the real right here. This is the one.
Definitely, this
It's
is
crazy they're running this in Act City Hamamatsu.
yeah. I think it's a big enough venue.
Is
I
it? I don't
yeah.
remember how
I feel
big
like it's one of those
that one
big
is.
halls that Stardom runs sometimes. Maybe I'm wrong, but I do think it's one of the bigger ones. This is genuinely crazy good match though. I think Utami against either of the two is such a great pairing. And I think Iono and Shizuki beating the hell out of Yuzuki for the first half would be a great like face and parallel spot. So
Hmm.
I think this is all the ingredients of a really great match.
Okay, so there's multiple halls, and one of them is way bigger than I think
All right,
this one
so
is.
we'll have to
So you
wait.
can't really find it very easily. But yeah, I mean, man, I'm very interested in this match. I enjoyed the match with Utami opposite Yuzuki and Shozuki, obviously, and adding Aono to the mix instead of Koki and changing the teams around a little bit is very, very good. Aono and Shozuki is a great team, and we're finally getting the Yuzuki and Utami team that we haven't gotten yet because Nunai got sick.
Oh yeah.
So I'm excited to see that as well. Obviously, we saw it in the triple threat match, but it wasn't a proper team. Um, I think it seems like they really want to work together. Like it seems like
Definitely.
they probably are coming out of Stardom. Um, Pretty cool because they were both super rookies, both super judo rookies specifically.
Mhm.
I imagine there's some type of kinship there, so I'm excited to see them as a team. Um, and I appreciate like Utami having a designated second in that sense.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm really excited for that match as well.
All right. Well, I think that's it for this show. Um, that's all the previews to do. We'll be back next week. I don't know how we're gonna do it because Stardom is they're running a cork in and stuff, and Marigold is on VOD, so they won't be live, and I think it's a couple days they said of a wait. So not sure how we're gonna go next week. It might be more of a big picture review than an in-depth review, and we'll
Mm.
probably have some stuff to preview. I didn't look ahead. I imagine Stardom has something. I think New Blood is coming up. Um, I think maybe the Marigold Corkin, but that might be too early for that. I'm not sure. But yeah, we'll be back at some point next week anyway to talk about all of this.
We're actually that's a nasty. They're doing us nasty, Alex, because
They
the
are.
Marigold Korkin is also the 11th, which is a Tuesday.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
That's
Well,
awesome.
we'll have to work that out. Anyway, thank you, Xavier, for joining us. You are our favorite wild card. So
Hey,
you
that's
should.
what
I
I'm
don't know
here
if you want
for,
to
man.
plug yourself. You do a lot of stuff.
Our
I see
favorite
you on
Yeah.
Twitter
Wildcat.
and stuff.
Big High School Musical fans,
Oh yeah.
all of us.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, Dylan thought High School Musical 2 is better than 1. He's a piece of
It is.
shit. Anyway,
No, it is. It is.
no, that's wrong. It does not have Get Your Head in the Game. First of all, let me tell you that.
It,
Um,
Get your head in the
okay.
game.
Now, yeah, as far as stuff I gotta plug, really just go watch the draft and then vote for me because my roster will
don't vote
be
for him.
better than Dylan's. Uh, Dylan doesn't even like women, to be honest.
The
He,
fuck?
That's my bag. All right,
uh,
don't.
um,
uh,
yeah, but check out the Stardust Press podcast. I just do random stuff until Beth gets back because her knee like blew up and got destroyed. Now she's just chilling, watching WCW from '97 or something.
Sounds chill.
Yeah, it's a good life. She'll just like randomly text me, it's like, yeah, we gotta watch this 2001 Raw. I was like, for fucking what, bud? Um, Also check out my Substack. That is where I will be continuing the Pure Journal next month. Skip this month because I got like super sick and I don't feel like going back and watching a bunch of stuff. Also started the That's Real 20 Years of Yujiro Takahashi series on my Substack. So check that out. I just talked about the final No Limit. I think it's their final match in CMLL. Their a split us match with El Tejano Jr. and El Terrible. They lost their hair. It was a good time. Arena Mexico's sick.
true.
Oh yeah.
That's
All
real.
right. Well, with that, it's time to
Wait,
close.
to find all of that, go follow him on Twitter at Xaviism with 3 eyes because he never
Yep.
said that, and that's how you find all of those things that you just mentioned.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh, so
Sure,
yeah,
I'd tag him
go
in the
check him out over
description
there.
anyway. It's
Yeah,
fine. But yeah. All right. With that, it's time to close the show before it gets any longer. If you want to stand, you may stand. If you want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in.
stay golden, baby.
Ijo.
Ijo.